It's the first round of the DIAA baseball tournament. The number 17 seed Lake Forest Spartans visits the 16 seed Sussex Central Golden Knights in a Henlopen North vs. South Division battle. Hello, everyone. Corey Naito here alongside Kayla Santiago as we begin our Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling pregame show. Kayla, the road to the state title begins today here in the state of Delaware, and we have a good one on deck. Two evenly matched teams, and they played last week with Lake walking Sussex Central off in walk-off fashion.
And that game was delayed after 4 days due to weather. They had to finish it up in Lake Forest, and the Spartans were able to get on the board.
Take a look at our Chesapeake Eye Center look back. Lake Forest last time out beat their rivals Milford 10-4 last Thursday in the Battle of the Bat. Meanwhile, Central lost a tough one as Caravel Academy 8-0 last Thursday. So both teams trending in different directions as Sussex Central takes the field at their Palace. And on the hill, it is Brendan Anderson, 6-1 record with a 3.22 ERA, and he is the horse and ace for the Golden Knights.
He has been all season long. 44 strikeouts to just 14 walks on the season, and has really been hot at the right time. What better way to put your ace on the mound, especially against a team you lost to a week ago. This time it's a win-or-go-home situation, so Sussex Central wants to put the best out there to try and advance.
41 in the third innings under his belt. 10 appearances, 8 starts. He's making his 9th here to try and keep Sussex Central's hopes alive as they begin their quest for a chance to go to the state title game, just like Lake Forest. And we are underway with a strike to Jonathan Tyndall, the center fielder, who leads things off for the Spartans. A 321 hitter taps this one softly to second. Reefstein is there, makes the throw, and there's one away. Let's take a quick look at our Kitchen Concept starting lineups with the Lake Forest batting order. We just saw Jonathan Tyndall lead things off. Tristan McCray will bat second and play shortstop. Adam Schiff, the 3-hitter, the conference player of the year, has been fantastic. Brett Robbins will bat cleanup. Leighton Webb bats 5th. Quaid Gannon in right. Cody Klotz, Maris, and Hooks rounds out the order for Lakes, who comes in at 11-7 on the year. And they have won its last 4 in a row. And there's a good look at the shortstop, Tristan McCray, who is hitting .250 in 18 games this year. The pitch, just off the outside corner. Calling balls and strikes here this evening, Bill Vitolo, Jim Murray at first, Doug Scott at third, your 3-man DIAA umpiring crew. 3-0 the count here to McCray, who has played in every game for the Spartans here this season. Taking all the way for a strike, it's 3-1.
McCray, that senior leader who will be playing at the next level, but not wanting his season to end so shortly tonight.
Pitches in for a strike, it's 3-2. Of course, it's win or go home for every team in the DIAA tournament. Great representation in the Henlopen. 10 teams in the Henlopen Conference in the tournament. And Anderson gets his first strikeout, 2 up and 2 down. Let's take a look at the defense behind the Sussex Central ace, brought to you by Kitchen Concepts. It's Zamir Gardner, TJ Morris, and AJ Cannon left to right in the outfield. Talon Savage at third. Noah Burrows, the shortstop. Reefstein at second. Colin Tucker at first. And Braden Tidwell behind the plate. Here is the Conference Player of the Year, Adam Schiff. Comes up empty. Heck of a regular season for the catcher in 18 games. He hit .472, 2 homers, 24 runs batted in. OPS of over 1,200. First team all-conference selection as a catcher here in the Henlopen. Anderson drops in another pitch, 0-2.
He also had some big games where he's had the pressure put on his shoulders. 8 RBIs in the game against Mount Charter on May 2nd, and then that go-ahead RBI in the win over Woodbridge. So in big situations, he's the guy that's going to be delivered, and once again, just one of the many reasons he was the Conference Player of the Year.
Trying to battle back against Anderson, who has a fastball, slider, changeup mix, sits in the upper 80s. The 1-2. We mentioned in the open, Lake beating Sussex Central in walk-off fashion 7-6 last week. Kayla mentioned how Mother Nature played a role where they started the game. Sussex Central was up, and then 4 days later had to go back to Felton and take care of the Spartans, and the Spartans able to load the bases up and walk in the game-winning run. Anderson, though, with a solid start here, back-to-back strikeouts to close out the top of the first, and we head to the bottom half of the inning. Lake goes down in order. Golden Knights grabbing their bats right here on the Delmarva Sports Network.
Coast Country and Spicer Brothers have teamed up to help out our friends and neighbors in need and to support the causes that better the lives of all who live on Delmarva. If you know of a family in need or a charitable cause that could use some help, go to coastcountry.com and fill out the form today. Each month, we'll select a special event to feature and attend with a live remote broadcast. Coast Country Cares, built by Spicer Brothers Construction. Learn more at coastcountry.com.
Back here in Georgetown, Delaware, Brendan Anderson setting the first three batters he faces in order, picking up 2 strikeouts, and now it is J.D. Moudry on the hill for Lake Forest. Take a look at the batting lineup for Sussex Central. The Golden Knights come in at 10-7 on the year, averaging a little over 8 runs a game. Reef Steen, the second baseman, leads it off. A.J. Cannon hits second, plays right. T.J. Morris is the center fielder in the 3-hole. Cleanup hitter is the pitcher Anderson. Batting 5th, the shortstop Noah Burrows. C.J. Willie has come on strong as of late. He's the DH, hitting 6th. Batting 7th, the first baseman Colin Tucker. Zamir Gardner, the multi-sport athlete here at Sussex Central, is the left fielder, hits 8th. And batting 9th, the catcher is Braden Tidwell, and he will face J.D. Moudry, who comes in with a 2-3 record and a respectable 3.73 ERA, making his 9th start of the season, Kayla, and he's been pretty solid for the Spartans.
Yeah, he's been one of their best pitchers so far in the season. You talk about Anderson's strikeout-to-walk ratio, but you also have to look at Moudry's 38 strikeouts just on 18 walks on the season. You can expect tonight to be a pitching duel for sure.
Both teams with their aces on the hill. Moudry had a solid start last week against Milford in the Battle of the Bat game where his Spartans took care of the Buccaneers 10-4. He almost went the distance, went 6 1/3 innings and picked up 6 strikeouts, scattered a couple runs. Reef Steen, the second baseman, leads it off for Sussex Central. First pitch from Moudry downstairs. Steen has had a fantastic year, hitting .396, a homer, 10 runs batted in. Has played in 16 games this year for the Golden Knights. And he chops this one foul, just barely past the diving try of Klotz at third.
And for Sussex Central, their bats have been a little bit cold, especially in this past week. Important for them to try to get things going early. In their last 5 games, only scoring 14 runs, so under 3 per contest. And that's unlikely for the Central squad. It was so hot in the beginning of the year.
The 1-1 from Moudry. Fastball let her high for a strike. Moudry earning all-conference second-team honors as a pitcher this year. He has really developed himself into a good pitcher over the last couple of years, according to head coach Corey Wyatt. Gets a pop-up out into right. Tracking it down is his right fielder, Quade Gannon. 1 away, and let's take a look at that defense behind Moudry for the Spartans, brought to you by Kitchen Concepts. We saw Gannon out in right. He's joined by Jonathan Tyndall and Quentin Maris in center and left. Third to first, it's Klotz, McCrae, Hooks, Robbins, and behind the plate is the all-conference catcher, Adam Schiff. Here's A.J. Cannon, the right fielder. .362 hitter on the year. No homers, 11 runs driven in. Gets on base nearly 56% of the time. A 1 from Moudry. This is up and away, a ball and a strike. Moudry with a fastball, curveball, changeup. More of a finesse pitcher. He relies on location. Check swing on a breaking pitch. They asked for appeal. First base ump Jim Murray said he did not go.
2 balls, 1 strike to the batter.
He pitched against Central in that game last week. He went 4 innings. So he's certainly familiar with his Golden Knight lineup. Likewise for Sussex Central, Cannon gets the game's first hit with a 1-out single.
And Cannon, one of their best hitters, of course, in that 2-hole, just doing his job, getting on base and trying to get that momentum around the bats. Important not only for this game, but if they're able to advance to start getting hot at the plate.
So that brings up TJ Morris, the center fielder. He has been solid this year, hitting .326. Second on the team with 2 home runs. Also second on the team with 21 runs batted in. He's looking up at his teammate and on-deck man, Brendan Anderson. Pitches in for a strike. Morris has played in 17 games. Doesn't strike out often, just 6 strikeouts this year to 14 walks.
And we'll see how he dials up against Mudry, who is really a strikeout machine. You mentioned before, Corey, he relies on location a little bit more than that velo. But once again, that 38 strikeout ratio to just 18 walks.
Pitch gets past Schiff, and moving up to second, A.J. Cannon. So a runner in scoring position here for Sussex Central, and as Kayla mentioned, this offense trying to get going. They have averaged under 3 runs a game over their last 5. Overall in the year, averaging north of 8, but that was because they got off to a hot start at the plate. Started the season off 6-0. But since that 6-0 start, they ended up going 4-7 to finish off the regular season with a 10-7 record. 1-2 the count, Mudry ahead. And now Schiff is going to come out and quickly talk to his pitcher Mudry. And with that, let's take a look at our Matt Birdingham and Patterson Schwartz keys to the game. We'll start with Lake Forest, Kayla. Both of these teams very evenly matched between these two squads, but for Lake,
putting the ball in play as they were trying to do that in their half of the first inning, forced the defense of Sussex Central to make those tough plays, matching that intensity and then making routine ground ball plays in the field. As errors, of course, can come back to haunt you later in the game. We saw it yesterday in our contest with Colonel Richardson and Snow Hill, playing as clean a game as possible.
2-2 the count here to Morris. Both teams looking to play clean defense as it starts to sprinkle here in Georgetown. Close pitch there. Mudry thought he got a strikeout. It's full count now to Morris. 70 degrees and overcast here in Georgetown, Delaware, but that overcast sky is starting to produce some precipitation. Payoff. Just misses ball 4, so runners at first and second with 1 away. And it is Brendan Anderson, the pitcher, coming to the plate. And before he begins his at-bat, let's take a look at the keys for Sussex Central.
Making routine plays as well, get that offense going is what they're going to try to do right now with Anderson and 2 runners on the base pass, playing that clean defense and get ahead of hitters. Important, especially that first one to get their offense going. We mentioned the bats have been a little bit cold, but right now Central looking to dial it in early on. Anderson
looking to help himself as well, not only the ace of the staff, but the leading hitter in almost every offensive category. Hitting .340 this year, leads the team with 3 homers and 25 RBIs. 18 hits, 7 of them for extra bases. So his slugging's up to .604, so he has power. 1-0 on the inside corner for a strike. Rain starting to come down a little bit harder. Let's say it's a steady mist right now here in Georgetown. Here's the 1-1. In the dirt, good block by Schiff, keeping the runners put. Sussex Central led by third-year head coach DJ Long. Was at Indian River for 3 years as the varsity head coach. He also went to Sussex Central and played on the team's last state title appearing team in 2009. Anderson pops this up. A lot of foul territory here at Sussex Central, but Robbins can't make the play.
And we mentioned yesterday with the overcast skies, the same weather appearing today, sometimes tough to find the ball. Looked like it carried a little bit and just kept on going, so not an easy catch to make. Luckily for Anderson, he stays alive.
Count evens at 2-2. Opposite of the head coach of Sussex Central in DJ Long, it is 18th year skipper Corey Wyatt, also a graduate from Lake, so 2 former alums coming back to coach their baseball programs. 2-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Big out there by Mudry, and he gets the strikeout and a fist bump. 2 away, runners stay put.
You saw right there Mudry doing a little bit different, getting Anderson to chase high, as the last strikeouts he tried to get were low balls. So a good job by Mudry, taking a chance, getting one of the best hitters out for Sussex Central.
Now here is Noah Burrows trying to capitalize with runners at first and second, but now with 2 outs. Shortstop in 16 games, hitting .375, a homer, and 12 runs batted in. On base at .466, so he's been able to draw walks as well. 8 walks to 8 strikeouts, so a pretty solid ratio there. Burrows a sophomore. The pitch. Breaking ball misses low and away.
Burrows on the year with those 12 RBIs, so has done a good job of clearing the bases before. If you're able to sling one in the gap, it could be 2 runners and clearing the bases.
The senior Mudry trying to avoid that. Work out of this jam. Well-located fastball, and it's 1-2. And we saw in the Class 1A MPSSAA state semifinal game yesterday we broadcast with Snow Hill and CR. Both pitchers not overpowering the offense, relying on location. That's similar to what we're seeing here with Mudry.
The fastball looks good, but the location looking even better.
Try to get Burrows to chase like he did Anderson, but the count levels.
You saw with that walk on Morris that the location a little bit low, not where he wanted it, but trying to bounce back and get out of the inning in the jam.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. Underway here in Georgetown, the first round of the DIAA playoffs, and Mudry gets a big strikeout to end the inning. So both starting pitchers closes out their first with back-to-back strikeouts, and Mudry strands runners at first and second. We head to the top of the second inning, scoreless here in the first round of the DIAA baseball tournament.
102.5 WBOC.
I wanna know who's in your head, stealing your heart while I'm still bleeding.
You right, I got my, yeah, but
You say someday when we're older, we'll be shining like the gold, yeah, won't we? Well, I thought I kept it.
102.5 WBOC.
Delmarva has many treasures, hidden and not so hidden. From the beautiful landscape to the little creatures here on the peninsula and everything in between. Explore life on Delmarva with Andrew Tawes every weekend on WBOC and Fox 21.
Well, that's going to wrap up another week of adventures for us.
Outdoors Delmarva. Explore the beautiful places we call home. Weekends on WBOC and Fox 21.
Head of the top of the second inning, no score. Both pitchers picking up a couple of strikeouts to close out their opening innings. Let's take a look at our Beach Mobile and RV Supply player to watch. And Kayla, who do you have your eyes on today?
I'm going to go with Sussex Central starting pitcher Brendan Anderson. We know that he is the workhorse for this team, the ace of the Central squad as well. And for the Golden Knights, their bats have struggled a little bit in the past week, so his performance will be crucial if they want to get past this game.
First baseman Rhett Robbins takes a slider in for a strike. Robbins, Webb, and Gannon, 4-5-6 due up here for Lake. Robbins hits one sharply to the ground. Shortstop Burrows can't handle it. That's an error on the middle infielder and something that head coach DJ Long mentioned to us earlier in the week that the errors have been costly at times for Sussex Central, and especially with Anderson on the hill. He's given up 32 runs total, only 19 earned because of defensive miscues.
And that's going to be important going for this game. And we've mentioned the advancement, too, just playing that clean baseball. It's easier said than done, especially when weather is here or there. Might be a little bit slippery, or the ball might be twirling a little bit more than usual. But I have to pick up that defensive prowess to try and advance.
Webb, a 289 hitter on the year, no homers, 12 runs batted in. Stocky DH, who has accepted the role of being a designated hitter this year. Lake with its first runner aboard in this game. They check on that runner, Robbins. Webb with 10 walks to 12 strikeouts, so he's pretty patient at the plate, doesn't chase much. Has been the DH for the program the last 2 years. Takes the 1-1 fastball for a strike.
Those 12 runs that batted in have really helped him in that DH spot so far this season.
Another throw over. Coach Corey Wyatt telling us that he just finds ways to drive in runs. And as the DH, that's pretty much your job, especially when there's runners on base. Drive them home. The 1-2. Slider off the plate. Going to be a tough play for Savage. He gloves, throws, plenty of time. Nice play by the corner infielder for Sussex Central.
Wow, you put Savage in the field over there at third. Not an easy play whatsoever, making sure he timed it perfectly. Didn't get nervous or anxious making that play. Perfect throw over.
So runner in scoring position for Lake, and that brings up Quade Gannon. Right fielder in 18 games, hit .346 with a couple of homers and 13 runs batted in. That second homer coming against the rival Milford last week at the game we had broadcast. It was a laser line drive over the fence, similar height to here at Sussex Central. That was a 3-run homer, and that put Lake up 5-0, and they ended up winning 10-4 over the Buccaneers. And that loss kind of forcing Milford to not make the playoffs. They have been so good over the years, but they had to win out, and they could not. They finished with an 8-10 record in the North Division this year. So one of the 10 teams not in the DIAA tournament from the Henlopen Conference.
For Lake Forest, they really just got hot at the right time. You mentioned that Milford win, the Central win last week as well.
Have won 4 in a row coming into this one. This pitch is past Tidwell. That'll be a wild pitch charged to Anderson. So Lake threatening here in the top of the second. First runner to reach third for either side. And it all started with an error in E6, and again at this level, talk to a lot of coaches. They tell us not many teams can string 4 to 5 hits together. The run-scoring rallies usually have an error or a walk in between a couple of hits. Pitches on the outside corner for a strike. Good location by Anderson. It's 1-2. Anderson with a couple of strikeouts and a 1-2-3 first. Having to work harder here in the second. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got it past Gannon. Third strikeout for Anderson, and there's 2 away.
And Anderson just throwing heat right now. The base runner on due to the error. But the location on that pitch, getting Gannon to chase inside, just what makes him so good while using a lot of his arsenal here tonight.
Here is Cody Klotz, the third baseman. 209 average in 16 games, 4 runs batted in. Has drawn 6 walks to bump that on-base percentage to .320. 1-1 the count here, the number 7 hitter, with Lake trying to score first here on the road. Anderson gets ahead and looking for another punch out. He's working quickly.
Not getting his pitch count up too high after the lead base runner getting on in this game, to that E6 over there at short. Just trying to end this inning without any damage.
Robbins off at third. 1-2 the count here to Klotz. Anderson tried to paint the outside corner, thought he got it. 2-2 the count now to the Lake third baseman.
A good eye by Klotz not to chase the outside pitch. To lay off a little bit and keep his at-bat alive.
2-2. Popped up, foul territory, and Tucker, the first baseman, runs out of room. Very spacious here at Sussex Central. A lot of foul territory down the lines, and if a ball gets behind the catcher, feels like you're running a mile to get it. It is a deep backstop here. 319 down the lines, 367 to each alleyway. 2-2 swing and a miss. Strike three. Anderson amped up. Second straight inning. He has picked up back-to-back strikeouts to close out a frame, and he works around the error and the runner at third. We head to the bottom of the second. 0-0. Spartans, Golden Knights on the Delmarva Sports Network.
Dear America, what will my story be when what I've seen has forever changed me?
Will you let me down and just sit quietly? Or have my back and stand up next to me?
Tell me, America.
What our story will be.
Honoring Asian American and Pacific Islander heritage
means turning the page on hate.
Country's getting a whole lot bigger here in Delmarva. From the beach to the bay, you can now hear the all-new Coast Country, 103.9 and 106.3. We play America's best music, along with local news and weather updates from WRDE Coast TV. Find us on your radio at 103.9 and 106.3. We're local, we're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
We head to the bottom of the second inning here in this first round of DIAA contest between Lake Forest and Sussex Central. The Golden Knights of the North finishing 10-7 in the regular season. Lake Forest 11-7 in the South. Brendan Anderson, Kayla, has looked pretty sharp. Worked around an error, left that runner stranded at third. 4 strikeouts through 2 innings.
His location just has been spot on. He's completely fooling these Lake Forest batters right now. You think he's going to go inside, and then he goes out and away and gets some to chase. He's just been spot on so far this evening.
And J.D. Moudry trying to replicate that success. Drops in a nice curveball to the DH, C.J. Willie. 14 games on the year, hitting .276. No homers, 9 driven in, but he has started to turn a corner at the plate, and Coach D.J. Long said they have to try and get his bat in the lineup somehow, especially in the postseason.
And when you're hot and able to produce some base hitting for your team, it's important that he's able to get in there and keep up that consistency, especially throughout big games like tonight.
Only a sophomore, but he goes down here on 3 pitches. Moudry with his third strikeout. He has struck out his last 3 batters.
A little bit of a pitcher's duel here today between Moudry and Anderson. Both pitchers well respected from both sides, and location has been the game.
Here is Colin Tucker, the first baseman. .235 average, no homers. 2 runs batted in. All of his 8 hits this year singles. Moudry worked around a 1-out single and a walk. Left the 2 runners stranded, picking up back-to-back strikeouts. This pitch is lifted center field. Tyndall camping under and makes the catch.
You notice right now, especially Lake Forest defensively, taking their time to get those fly balls, making sure they have it tracked well, especially in this overcast weather here today. Want to place it well because those routine plays can be hit or miss if you're unable to come down with them.
Here is Zamir Gardner, the left fielder. Had a good regular season, a .308 hitter, a homer, and 12 runs batted in. Getting on base 43% of the time, crushes this one in the left, but coasting over and catching it on a line, Quinton Maris. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for J.D. Moudry. So both pitchers working a little extra in an inning, and now both with a 1-2-3 inning under their belt. 2 complete, still scoreless. We head to the third in Georgetown.
Saturday, baseball night in America is back on Fox. Mookie Betts leads a star-studded Dodger lineup.
It is gone!
As they battle the Diamondbacks. Or an NL East division rivalry heats up. As Bryce Harper powers the Phillies against the Mets' 1-2 punch of Lindor and Alonso. It's baseball night in America, Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Season. We head to the top of the third inning. Both pitchers cruising early, also working around some traffic on the bases. J.D. Mudry fires a 1-2-3 bomb the second, and now it's Brennan Anderson out for the third inning. He has looked good. 4 strikeouts. Has not allowed a hit so far through his first 2 innings. As we expected, Kayla, perhaps a low-scoring game with the weather and the 2 aces on the hill for each team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they've been spot on with their location, and even their velocity has been a problem for the opposing batter. So right now, it might just be whoever can get a little bit of momentum off first. Sussex Central able to do that in their first half of the inning, but Mudry doing a good job of stopping them.
Both teams putting a runner in scoring position in the first 2 innings. Quentin Maris, the batter, hitting .250 on the year, no homers and 5 runs batted in. Has played in 14 games for Lake. Talking to Coach Wyatt before that game we broadcast last week against Milford, I had to ask if he knew if Quentin was related to, of course, Roger Maris. You don't see that last name too often, and when it's in baseball, it's almost a given. Of course, Roger Maris, a fantastic slugger back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, had that home run chase with Mickey Mantle. Coach laughed. He said, "Not to my knowledge." 1-2. Maris swinging hard here at the plate. A ball and 2 strikes as he's battling with Anderson. Well, Lake coming in with an 11-7 record, Kayla, 4 straight wins. This is the first time that the Spartans have posted back-to-back winning seasons since 2015 and 16.
Yeah, and they went 10-8 in both of those years and did not make the playoffs. So for this season, to make the postseason and to have your first game against a team you already beat earlier in the year, pretty good for the Spartans as they tried to not only continue their success this season, but going forward in the next few years with this very talented squad.
Of course, last year it was an open playoff because of COVID, so everybody made it. This pitch is chopped foul. But this Spartan team turning things around. They have a good group of kids, according to Coach Wyatt. Last year, they went 10-8. They earned a first-round win over Delmarva Christian 3-1 before falling 9-5 in the second round against Tower Hill. Anderson locks Maris up. Another strikeout for the hurler. He's got 5 on the night. He has looked impressive, and he has now struck out his last 3 batters faced.
And Maris a little bit frustrated. Had a really good battle there with Anderson and wanted to get the better of it, shaking his head as he walks back to the dugout.
Here's TJ Hooks, the second baseman. Number 9 hitter does not get cheated on his swings, as you see there. Finished the regular season hitting .345, no homers, 4 runs batted in, but with his offensive ability, earned a first-team all-conference selection as a designated hitter.
You don't see that every day.
You do not, especially from a 9-hole hitter. Works the count in his favor, 2-1.
When you talk about putting the lineup and turning it back over, Hooks can be that guy that can get on base, and then you get your best hitters coming up and can really start some momentum on any given night.
Trying to do that here. Anderson just misses off the corner again, and Hooks ahead in the count 3-1. Anderson has yet to walk a batter so far as he looks to complete his first turn through the Lake lineup. Only 14 walks and 41 in the third innings coming in. You can make that 43 in the third entering this frame, and on cue he ends up walking the 9-hitter Hooks.
And there you go, just getting on base any which way, being able to turn the lineup back over. and try to get some base runners on, as Anderson has made it tough for Lake.
Only one hit for either side. That was a one-out single by A.J. Cannon. As Jonathan Tyndall, the leadoff man, comes up for the second time. He started this game with a ground out to second. Wind starting to blow the rain sideways here. Again, it's a light rain. I'd call it a mist, but it's certainly not a picture-perfect day for baseball. 1-0 is tapped foul.
When you talk about these two teams playing in weather last time, the game being delayed 4 days later, and Sussex Central having to go back to Lake Forest to complete it. Once again, not getting those bright and sunny skies they were probably hoping for, having to deal with the rain and the ball maybe being a little bit slippery here tonight.
Luckily, it's about 70 degrees, so it is warm. Obviously, you can see no players wearing sleeves, but the weather with the rain and the overcast skies, this is more of like an early April game. But again, luckily, the temperature, a comfortable 70 degrees at first pitch. 1-1, Tyndall chops it up the middle, could be two. The flip for second, and that's all they'll get. That was going to be a tough turn, but nice job by Reef Steen to at least get the lead runner.
Yeah, a good job by Steen also. He thought about taking it himself, and he saw that Burrows was right there, flips it over to him. And now with 2 down for Sussex Central.
So that brings up Tristan McCray, the shortstop.
Number 2, Tristan McCray.
McCray, one of 5 strikeout victims against Anderson to this point. Struck out swinging back in the first. McCray, a senior and leader on this team, earned second-team all-conference selection as a pitcher. He's going to Eastern Shore to play for the Hawks over at UMES in Princess Anne, Division I. Not sure if he's going to pitch or play the field. This pickoff throw gets past Tucker, and heading up to second with ease on the throwing error is Tyndall. So 2 errors for Sussex Central. Anderson was able to work around an E6 to begin the second. Now he's going to try and work around his own error here.
Of course, one of the things that Sussex Central wanted to work on, and head coach G.J. Long keys to the game, playing that clean defense in the infield. Those errors can come back to haunt you, but Anderson has done a good job dealing with them so far.
0-1. Fastball in for a strike. That's what hurt them last game against Caravel Academy. They lost 8-0. They had 3 errors in that game. They only had 3 hits, too. So when you have as many hits as errors in a game, that usually doesn't bode well. Has a chance to work around it. 0-2. Just missed. He has been nibbling that outside corner all game long.
Good job by McCray, not chasing. Struck out swinging his first time up, a little bit more patient in his second at bat.
Tyndall off at second. Still no score here in the opening round of the DIAA playoffs. 1-2. Popped up. Runner was breaking for third. Mentioned Sussex Central's offense a little cold at the plate. Not the same for Lake during this 4-game winning streak. They have averaged 9 runs a game, scoring 36 total. But they are running into a buzzsaw in Anderson, the Central ace.
Any team that goes up against Anderson, no matter what school, it's not going to be an easy night for you offensively.
1-2, and fought off by McCray. He is not trying to be the 6th strikeout of the night for Anderson.
That's the good thing about Lake right now, is they are fighting off those pitches, not going down easy, which will bring up the pitch count for Anderson.
He's at 50 already here in the top of the third. 2 outs. Trying to strand a runner in scoring position for the second time in as many innings. Left Rhett Robbins off at third to close out the second. The 1-2.
We saw yesterday in the Class 1A state semis for Maryland, both pitchers getting pulled around 55 pitches. You would think it might be different here tonight for the DIAA, but already at 51 is Anderson.
Certainly will be interesting to see what kind of chess match both coaches play with their pitchers. Again, this is only the first round. Yesterday was to get to the title game. Great at bat here by McCray, spoiling another. But the pitch count certainly does play an effect moving forward as you get deeper and deeper into the playoffs. Sussex Central trying to make a run. They haven't been in that title game since their head coach, DJ Long, was on that 2009 team. Long, of course, went on to play at the University of Delaware and had a fantastic career, top 5 all-time in hits. But Central's baseball trying to duplicate the success of their counterparts on the softball field. The Golden Knights punching their ticket to the state championship game yesterday. A big win behind the arm of Madge Layfield. Back-to-back state title appearances for the Golden Knights in softball, so congratulations to them. Best of luck.
And a rematch of last year's finals, too, against Caravel. So a little bit of deja vu and back-to-back seasons on the softball field for DIAA.
The 2-2, and it's lifted into right field. Cannon is underneath it, makes the two-handed squeeze, and that ends the inning. So Anderson works around his own error. No runs, no hits. That error and the man left in scoring position. 2.5 complete. We are tied at 0-0 as we head to the third on the Delmarva Sports Network.
Here is another Delmarva Sports Network 2-minute drill.
Hey there, friends. This is another 2-minute drill presented by Avery Hall Insurance Group. It's playoff time in Delaware. Playoffs are underway in every single sport, but let's talk about DIAA girls lacrosse. This game for all the marbles. The state finals between Cape Henlopen and Tatnall. Vikings going for their 13th straight state championship. But will they get the job done? Let's roll the highlights, ladies and gentlemen. State final time. Cape once again going for that 13th straight. They want to get on the board first, and they will. Alexi Nowakowski getting the job done. Tatnall looking to even up the score. Lydia Colasante on the other end, blocked by Anna Lopez. She's been phenomenal all year long. And Cape trying to add another one, and Kelly Bradwell, she's cleaning up all of the mess and gets it to find Twine. Cape feeling it on the attack once again. Alexis Truitt, check this out, receives the assist, slicing through, and gets the job done. But Cape Henlopen, they still want more. They want it all in this big game. Ella Rishko somehow gets through every single defender, and the Vikings lead. Tatnall leading to catch up. One of the captains trying to do so. Taryn Singer provides that. And Tatnall, maybe they're feeling a little bit of a comeback as Callie Claxton also wanting to get the job done, and she will. Back-to-back goals for Tatnall, but the Vikings offense, well, they would stay hot, especially in that second half. They were not going down. Molly Mendez finds space and scores. The Vikings looking for that icing on the cake. Alexi Nowakowski, yeah, we've heard her name all night long, and that's the reason why. She finds Twine, and Cape Henlopen once again for the 13th straight year in a row are DIAA state champs as they defeat Tatnall 16-4. That'll do it for us. Have a good day, everybody.
Oh, wow, does that smell good? I love this audience. Wait, they clap for food? Salt. Yes. Oh, that is so cool. And we're good. The world does not belong to you.
93.5, The Beach. The Beach.
J.D. Moudry out for his third inning of work, trying to match his counterpart Brendan Anderson, who has twirled 3 scoreless and hitless innings with 5 strikeouts. 9-1-2 due up here for Sussex Central, starting with Braden Tidwell, the catcher. Tidwell hit 200 in the regular season, no homers, 3 runs batted in. Does walk more than he strikes out, though. 12 walks at 10 strikeouts. Pops this one up into shallow center. That will fall in for a hit. So the second hit of the game, both belonging to the Golden Knights. And the number 9 hitter turns the lineup card over.
Trying to get that batting average up just a little bit, as it looks like he'll be switched off for a pinch runner. Once again, Sussex Central threatening with base runners. Can they change things around this time?
Looks like John Abbott, the senior, will come in as a pinch runner for the freshman Tidwell, who got that single. And here is Steen, the leadoff man and second baseman. He flew out to right field his first time up. Steen, a junior, had a fantastic year. Laces this one in the left center field. Going back on it and making the catch, Jonathan Tyndall. That was a loud out number one.
A good job by Tyndall out there over in center. Not necessarily an easy catch from where he started a little bit on that short outfield, having to make a little bit of a run to go back to the warning track. Making those routine defensive plays will help them going forward in this game.
Here is Cannon, the right fielder. He singled for the game's first hit, was left stranded at second base. Moudry picked up a couple of strikeouts to leave two runners on. Both pitchers using strikeouts and working around traffic. Cannon trying to bunt his way on here.
Singling that last time up, a little surprising to see that he's squaring up to bunt, but he does have that speed, so if it's placed in the right spot, he can give himself another hit on the day.
Had a big year at the plate last year, did Cannon. Had 4 or 5 homers, hit around 400. First team All-State selection. Hit .362 this year with no homers, 11 runs batted in. Lines this one into center field. That will be a hit. Going station to station is the lead runner in Abbott. So 2 hits in this inning. And again, Sussex Central trying to formulate something against J.D. Moudry.
They were able to get those base runners last time, which started with the single of Cannon. But the biggest thing for Central is to try to get those bats hot and drive some runners in when they have the opportunity.
And now the heart of the order coming up. The number 3 hitter, TJ Morris, is at the plate. He walked in that first inning. Slugging .630 on the season. He has some pop, 2 homers. Second on the team with 21 ribbies. The pitch. In the dirt. So back-to-back hard-hit baseballs against Moudry. Steen's lineout didn't have anything to show for it, but it was a rocket. And Cannon following suit. What can the senior Moudry do here? He's so calm on the mound. We noticed that in the game last week against Milford. He just doesn't seem to be fazed by much on the hill. And that Milford Lake game was pretty close early on, and then Lake was able to jump out 5-0. Never looked back. And, of course, these two teams meeting last week with Lake walking off Sussex Central 7-6. Expect a close one here again, and so far through 2.5, we've gotten it. Another foul ball out of play right field side, and Moudry quickly evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Staying calm, cool, and collective, as you mentioned, Corey, Moudry able to do, and that's so important not only in the game of baseball, but also when you have runners in scoring position, worrying about the batter at hand and trying to just to get the second out in this inning.
Morris, the best all-around player on this Golden Knight team other than Anderson. Takes a pitch high, it's 3-2. We mentioned Zamir Gardner, who's the 8-hole hitter and left fielder for Sussex Central. He was the quarterback for the Golden Knights last year, and of course the season when Sussex Central won the title. This man at the plate, TJ Morris, is your new quarterback here in Georgetown for the blue and gold come fall. Right now, though, looking to cash in here and put his team up early. 3-2, he gives it a ride to right field. Gannon backpedaling a little, makes the catch, quickly gets it back into second.
And how about the cannon from Gannon? Was threatening those Central runners to get back and making sure that they were not allowed to advance any further. So the bang play trying to make happen.
Nice little rhyme there, Kayla Santiago. Poet, and he didn't even know it.
There you go.
Moudry, though, trying to get out of this inning. He has to deal with his counterpart, Anderson. Cleanup man struck out chasing a high fastball back in the first for Mudry's first punch out. A lot of loud outs here, but for Lake and Mudry, they have been right to the outfielders. Tyndall snagging a liner in left center, and Gannon able to track that line drive out and right.
We'll see what Anderson does if he sits back and plays a little small ball or tries to crush it with 2 outs.
Pitches bounce, another great block by Schiff, showing why he's a conference player of the year. We talked about his offensive accolades, but he has been fantastic behind the plate for the Spartans. Well, Anderson has 7 extra base hits on the season, 3 doubles, a triple, and a team-leading 3 home runs. Definitely the batter you want at the plate now if you're Sussex Central. Second time in as 3 innings that the Golden Knights have been able to put runners at first and second. They did so in the opening inning. Mudry picked up back-to-back strikeouts to the end of the threat. Good pitch, 2-2.
You mentioned it before, but Mudry just unfazed right now. Probably shouldn't say that too early before the inning is over, but dealing with base runners for the second inning. Just making sure he's calm, cool, and collective and trying to get the last out in Anderson once again.
Anderson going to play Division II ball as a 2-way player at Shippensburg University in a fantastic conference in the PSAC. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Mudry goes with the curve and fools Anderson for the second time today. Another strikeout for Mudry, and he again strands runners at first and second. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the 2 men left. 3 complete. We've got a good one in Georgetown. 0-0 on DSN.
Ready? Oh, I'm ready.
What would it take for you to be well?
And pick out a dessert.
There's plenty of stuff going on here, haven't you?
Absolutely. Well, we need to get cooking.
Mamma Mia meatballs, that's what we made in the Delmarva Live kitchen this afternoon. Time to go.
Live TV.
In Maryland, then in Delaware and Virginia.
Delmarva Live, weekdays at 5 on WBOC.
We move to the top of the 4th inning here on the Delmarva Sports Network. You see a bunch of zeros on the board. A fantastic pitching duel between Brendan Anderson and J.D. Mudry of Sussex Central and Lake, respectively. Anderson out for another inning of work. Gets a strike to Adam Schiff, the Conference Player of the Year, who struck out to end the 1st inning. Schiff, Robbins, Webb, 3-4-5 due up against Lake, still looking for its first hit.
Here, Lake Forest right now trying to get some insurance for Mudry, who's been pitching a fantastic game along with Anderson, can be really important, especially against a Central team who has stranded some base runners. It's about time before Central's able to knock one of them in. So if Lake's able to get a little bit momentum going, can help that starter out on the other side.
Central with 4 men left on base so far. 2 in the first, 2 in the third. Went down in order in the second. Meanwhile, Lake with 2 runners left, 1 at third in the second, and 1 at second last inning. So both teams with opportunities with runners in scoring position, but the Aces have been shining here in Georgetown on a gloomy afternoon. Head coach Corey Wyatt expected this game to be intense. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Anderson gets one of the best players in the entire conference down on strikes for the 2nd time. 6th strikeout of the game for Anderson. But Wyatt saying 2 evenly matched teams, and it's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes, who comes up with the late hit in the game. And the win against Central last week, he called it a program win. He said that that was one of the biggest wins of the season for the team.
To be able to bounce back after that 4-game delay for any team is not easy. And Lake Forest coming in.
Robbins skies this one into left field. Gardner backpedaling, makes the catch.
Lake Forest coming in and causing some havoc. So they have what it takes to beat those big teams. Just a matter of, once again, as Coach mentioned, who makes the least amount of mistakes, and when it's crunch time, who's going to come up with the big hit.
Talking about that win against Central, their other key win against Indian River, who was fantastic this year, 13-5. They are playing in the first round of the DIAA tournament. We'll get you a breakdown of those games and maybe some scores depending on how many updates we could find in between innings. But Lake Forest and Sussex Central, one of the two all-Henlopen Conference matchups here in the first round. That pitch is in for a strike. It's 0-2, to Leighton Webb, the DH, who's 0 for 1 with the ground out. Anderson looking for his 7th K of the night. Good eye by Webb.
That fastball by Anderson has been nothing but heat so far tonight. Almost unhittable. Well, has been unhittable for these Lake Forest Spartans.
1-2 is a slow tapper, and that will go foul. We mentioned this game, one of two all-Henlopen Conference teams playing. The other, Sussex Tech, the 9 seed, hosting Woodbridge, the 24 seed.
And we will have highlights of that one tonight on Delmarva Sports Network on the final score at 10:30 p.m. And that's a phenomenal game as well. Corey, you talk about Sussex Central being good. Sussex Tech was also outside looking in that top 10 poll all season long.
Tech finished with 12 wins on the year, 12-5. Second in the North Division, looking up at Cape, who, of course, has the top seed with a 16-2 record. Anderson gets his 7th punch-out of the night. This one looking, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for the Golden Knight ace. He has been near perfect so far. We head to the bottom of the 4th. He's hoping his offense could get him a run or two in the first round of this DIAA tournament matchup between the Spartans and the Golden Knights.
For more information about Dover Comic Con, a free indoor and outdoor pop culture festival, go to delmarvaevents.net.
93.5, The Beach rocks.
I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. My monsters are real. Holding into his words, but baby, I saw an angel because asking to pray about.
Delmarva's Rock Station 93.5, The Beach.
Good old-fashioned pitching duel here in Georgetown. Sussex Central with the game's only 3 hits, 2 of them coming from A.J. Cannon, the Golden Knight right fielder. But J.D. Moudry, Kayla, back out for his 4th inning of work, and he has done as much as he can, able to limit the damage. He has had runners on base in 2 of his first 3 innings, but we talked about it, very calm on the mound, and he just does not seem to get worried or phased with the threat that Sussex Central has put on a couple of times.
The thing in the back of his head, he's not worried about the base runners advancing. He's focused on the batter at hand. And then he trusts his defense behind him to make the right plays if the ball does advance. So he's done a fantastic job.
Noah Burrows starts this inning off, though, with a bang. A liner down the left field line. He's looking for 2, digging it out. Marist, and a stand-up double for Noah Burrows, the first extra base hit for either side. His first hit of the game. And for the 3rd time here tonight, Sussex Central has a runner in scoring position.
Now let's see if Central can get him to cross the plate. We mentioned those 4 runners left on base in those 2 innings that they were able to have base runners. Moudry has been calm, cool, and collective, but maybe Central able to help out Anderson when he goes back on the mound for his time.
There is C.J. Willie, the DH. He struck out back in the 2nd, one of 4 strikeout victims against J.D. Moudry.
He does have 9 runs batted in so far this season, so is completely capable of allowing Burrows to come around and score. And we saw the speed off the hit. So on a single, Burrows can make this a 1-0 game.
Third double of the season for Burrows. He's off at second. One is high from Mudry. So can he, again, work around runners in scoring position? However, this is the first legitimate threat for Sussex Central. The other two times they had runners on, but Mudry was able to get an out or two before he had a get out of it. Breaking ball is popped up, shallow left. Maris coming in, and he makes the catch.
And we talk about these routine fly balls that are easier said than done, but there's no wind out here today. The overcast skies making it a little bit tough to track those balls. Lake Forest right now playing very good defense in both their in and outfield.
So here's Colin Tucker. 0 for 1. He flew out to center field back in the second. Still nothing here in the first round of the DIAA playoffs. The winner advances to take on the top-seeded Cape Henlopen Vikings. 16-2 record out of the Henlopen North. The loser of this game will have their season come to an end. Pitch is popped up down the right field line. Long run for the first baseman, Robbins. He gives way to Gannon. Good communication and a good job by Mudry again after that double. Lazy fly balls the next two batters, and there's two away.
Communication is so underrated, especially in the game of baseball. You saw Robbins going out for the fly ball. That would have been a really tough backwards play to make. Gannon calling for it out and right. And just like that, Lake 1 out away from getting out of this inning after giving up a leadoff double.
Lake trying to keep this a scoreless game with Mudry on the hill. He drops in a buckling curveball to Zamir Gardner. Left fielder lined out sharply to left to close out the second inning.
That curve is just so nicely placed by Mudry. Kind of fools you off the release a little bit. And it's tough to hit when he might be sitting back for fastball.
The pitch outside. As it stands, Sussex Central right now 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position so far. Testament to J.D. Mudry making quality pitches. For Sussex Central, they're hitting the ball hard. Last inning, they hit a couple of rockets against Mudry, but right at the outfielders. Gardner gives this pitch a ride into left center field, and it is over the head of Maris. Gardner not going to get cheated, and he puts the Golden Knights on the board. An RBI double with 2 outs. Sussex Central up 1-0. Burrow scores easily from second. Big-time hit from Gardner. And he hit that line drive to left his first at-bat. Here goes to left center with authority.
We thought the sound of the bat, the crack of the bat, one of the best sound in sports. It might be out of the park, but Maris just unable to get back on it enough, was playing a little bit short. Just a beautiful piece of hitting. A fastball that hung up for a while. And now Gardner gives Sussex Central the first score of the game.
13th RBI on the year for Gardner. And here is Braden Tidwell, the catcher, the freshman. Is able to single his last time up, bounces one sharply to second, Hooks is there. And that ends the inning, but not before the clutch 2-out RBI double by Gardner gives Anderson and Sussex Central a 1-0 lead. We head to the 5th here in Georgetown.
Oh, wow, does that smell good? There will be meltdowns. Yes!
I love to cook. That's why I love watching your show.
Throw it, Sherry. Throw it down, Sherry.
I love this audience. When they clap for food.
Salt.
Yes!
Butter.
Look at those. Oh, that is so cool!
You've changed my life in so many ways, and I just love you to pieces.
And we're good!
The regular speed
coverage on the road,
face increased fines
in your community, and along the coast. The WRDE IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, Live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town.
We are now just north of Dublin Hill, and as you can see, if you take a look here outside, the rain is starting.
The WRDE IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep. Coverage you can count on.
Sussex Central taking a 1-0 lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning. A Zamir Gardner 2-out RBI double in the left center field, scoring Noah Burrows, who led the inning off with a double of his own. Gives Anderson, the ace of the Golden Knights, a slim 1-run cushion. Quade Gannon, the right fielder, will lead things off. He certainly has power to leave the yard. 2 homers on the year. That second homer coming last week against Milford. He struck out against Anderson. Hits this one sharply past the diving first baseman Tucker. And Gannon leads off the 5th with a single.
And a good piece of hitting there for Lake Forest, and the first hit of the game for the Spartans.
And that is the first hit of the game for the Spartans, so it took until the top of the 5th inning to get a hit against Brendan Anderson, who has been marvelous for Sussex Central. 7 strikeouts through 4 innings of work so far. Nearing the 70-pitch mark, and the third baseman Cody Klotz will come into bat. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. Swing and a foul. Sussex Central expecting Klotz to bunt. The third baseman Talon Savage charging in, and he was about 15 feet away from the swinging Klotz. You got to have your head on a swivel if you're going to come that close and see the batter swinging. That heart rate had to jump up for a couple of seconds. Will Lake play small ball? No bunt shown, and instead it's fouled off the mask of Tidwell, and Klotz now quickly in the hole, 0-2.
Sure, Klotz will pull the bat back, but not a bad idea to maybe square up to bunt. Getting the runner over to try to have a little rally after Central able to score in their last inning.
Klotz struck out to end the 2nd inning. That was when Lake Forest got a leadoff runner aboard on an E6, and Rhett Robbins moved to 2nd on a wild pitch. Excuse me, moved to 3rd on a wild pitch, but Anderson was able to get a ground out and 2 strikeouts to end that inning.
Good eye there by Klotz, making sure he didn't go around on that beautiful placed pitch by Anderson.
Klotz, in his first year starting for Lake, battling here with the ace of Sussex Central, has really come into his own, according to head coach Corey Wyatt. Told us that he has really put in the work in the weight room, has put some muscle on, and they're really expecting a big year from the third baseman next year as a senior. Trying to come up with a big hit here, down by 1.
Klotz a little bit more patient on this at bat. As we mentioned, he went down swinging back in the 2nd. Trying to get his pitch to hit. Not easy against Anderson.
Anderson averaging a strikeout, more than a strikeout per inning coming in, and he is certainly on that pace tonight. Klotz flies this one to right. Easy grab for Cannon, and there's one away.
I like the fight by Klotz, though, there. Able to get a nice piece of hitting, not lifted as much as he probably wanted to. And now Lake Forest just trying to keep this offensive opportunity alive.
The wind is whipping out from home plate, a little bit towards left center, where Gardner was able to rip his double to bring in the game's lone run last half inning. See if that plays into effect here in the later stages. Quentin Maris, the left fielder, is at the plate. He went down looking back in the 3rd. One of 7 strikeouts for the man on the mound, Brendan Anderson. This is outside. It's 2-0, and that is the 75th pitch for Anderson. Still has about 30 pitches to work with. The max is 105 in high school baseball. 2-0, a swing and a miss. Fastball gets past Maris.
We'll see how far they're willing to let Anderson to go. Of course, we don't know their plans on who they would like to pitch if they're able to advance after this game today. But Anderson so far has been extremely tough, just giving up that one hit.
Maris, a jack of all trades, tries to bunt this one. It's a good one. Savage charging, throws across his body. First baseman Tucker can't get it. Heading to third, Gannon. He's getting the windmill around. The throw from Cannon now is going to be held on. And Gannon held up at third. Moving up to second on the heads-up play is Maris. And Lake in business with runners at second and third with one away.
A little bit surprised that they didn't put Gannon to go there, but as you mentioned, the first baseman for Sussex Central charging in. Tucker able to get to the ball pretty quickly. And now Lake Forest threatening to tie this thing right back up with one of the hitters we've talked about who has been really, really good for this Lake Forest squad and can easily turn the lineup around like he did in that last inning.
TJ Hooks, the second baseman, first team all-conference DH. With a big spot here. Letter high strike. I would assume that is going to be an infield single. That was a tough play for Savage. And then the throw would allow both runners to score. Or, excuse me, to advance. They did not score. Hooks looking to score them. It's 1-1. The scoreboard here in Georgetown doesn't have your runs, hits, and errors column. Just the balls and strikes, the outs, the inning, and, of course, the score, which is 1-0 Sussex Central. The pitch. Away again, and interesting to note, the corner infield for Sussex Central in. Savage at third, Tucker at first, but the middle infield, Burrows at short and Seen at second, playing back. A little bit even with the bag, but it looks like they will concede a run for an out. 2-1 Hooks, and he hits it sharply to Steen at second, and they will do just that. A game-tying RBI ground out for TJ Hooks. Gannon scores from third, and we're knotted at one here in the fifth.
Just like that, Lake Forest showing why they've been able to compete all season long and why they gave Central a run for their money back in that game last week. And now it's very interesting. You look at the pitch count for Anderson. He's at 81 at the moment. How much longer will he go if this inning keeps kept alive? 2 outs now.
Here's Jonathan Tyndall, the center fielder. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and reached on a fielder's choice. Takes a slider for a strike, but Lake manufacturing a run here, and TJ Hooks was mobbed by his teammates heading to the dugout. That was a productive at-bat. This pitch is lofted into shallow center. TJ Morse camps underneath it, and that ends the inning. But Lake ties it up on 2 hits, an error, and 1 man left. We head to the bottom of the fifth, 1-1 here between Lake Forest and Sussex Central.
102.5 WBOC. WBOC.
Welcome to the Final Score right here on the Delmarva Sports Network.
Watch Delmarva's only live and local sportscast, Final Score on DSN.
This is your place to be for local teams with big dreams, a.k.a. DSN.
5 days a week, the Final Score is bringing you live coverage of local sports teams and games.
Unbelievable catch into the wall.
The Final Score, weeknights at 10:30 p.m., only on Delmarva Sports Network.
We head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Both offenses exchanging a run. Bottom of the fourth, there was a 2-out RBI double by Zamir Gardner. And in the fifth, Lake Forest manufacturing a run. An RBI ground out from TJ Hooks, tying it up here in the first round matchup between the North and South Division foes in the Henlopen Conference. J.D. Moudry out for his 5th inning of work. We'll deal with the top of the order, starting with Reef Steen, the second baseman. 0 for 2, Caleb, but he lined out sharply his last time up.
Indeed, he did, and showing that he can hit the ball hard here tonight. Maybe the Golden Knights are rallied up after Lake Forest was able to tie this ball game at 1 apiece and trying to have the same success they did last inning.
Moudry falls behind here, 3-0. Moudry has only walked one batter. That was T.J. Morris back in the first inning to put runners at first and second. Moudry trying to battle back. Instead, misses with all 4, and they go ahead to run aboard for Sussex Central here in the home half of the inning.
This is where it's going to be important for Moudry to keep that calm, cool composure, settle in just a little bit, and make sure that he can get the outs that are needed. He's only at 61 pitches right now, so 20 less than Anderson, but doesn't want to give up a lead run for Sussex Central.
You'll deal with Cannon, who has seen Moudry well, 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Shows bunt on the breaking pitch. That's in for a strike. It's 0-1. You mentioned Cannon's fantastic season last year. It was an all-state selection a year ago. Very athletic, left-handed hitter, looking to play some small ball and bunt the runner on. The snap throw down to first. Just in time, sliding back Steen. Cannon was not happy. He was walking down the first base line, and that was a great throw by Schiff. That was not a big window for him to see down there at first to get it to Robbins.
Once again, a reason why he is the conference player of the year, both offensively and behind the plate.
Keeping an eye at first with Steen there. He represents the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Winner advances to the second round. The loser has their season come to an end. This pitch is crushing a right center field, but coming in and missing it is Tyndall. He misplayed it. Steen had a hold up, so he'll only stay at second. Not sure what happened for Jonathan Tyndall out there. I thought he was going to have to dive for that for a moment, the wind knocking it down, but he was there, and it whizzed by his glove. So now runners at first and second with nobody out.
And we've talked about how Tyndall has had a phenomenal game so far out there in the outfield. I think just didn't know what to do with that ball. Maybe his feet got a little misplacing. As you mentioned, Corey wanted to dive, but then realized he didn't have to. And just went right by him.
So an error for Lake, the first defensive miscue for the Spartans here tonight. T.J. Morris is the batter. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and lined out sharply to right back in the 3rd. Third time this game, Sussex Central has multiple runners on. Cue shot. What a grab, though, by Robbins. He'll go for naught. Robbins with a head-first dive over there. Playing out just in case. 1-1 the count, but right now Sussex Central 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. But, of course, that lone hit, the big one, the 2-out RBI double last inning off the bat of Gardner.
And a beautiful hit by Gardner at that. We thought it might have enough to get out of the park. Completely crushed it to get that RBI.
Runners at first and second. Good breaking pitch dropped in for a strike by Moudry. The pitch in the dirt. Good block by Schiff. 2-2 the count. Moudry at 70 pitches. He went 6 1/3 against Milford last week. Picked up 6 strikeouts. Here he has labored a little bit against Sussex Central, but limit the damage. Popped up. Right field line. Long run for Gannon in foul territory, and he tries to grab it. He plays at 100 miles an hour.
Lightning quick speed over there and right. Almost had it, was just out of his reach. That would have been a great play for the second out, but Morris being able to stay alive and has another shot at it. Now a deep fly ball could possibly be damage. We saw in center field how it was misplaced, but Lake Forest trying to clean that up a little bit.
2-2 the count. Runners at first and second. Steen, the lead runner, he walked. Behind him, Cannon, who reached on the error. Good speed on the bases for the Golden Knights. Moudry's 2-2 is high. On deck is the cleanup man, Brendan Anderson, the best hitter for Sussex Central.
He has gone down swinging tight twice in this game, but a golden opportunity with the bases loaded and only one out if he's able to get up.
Throw to second, backdoor pick. That was close. The shortstop McCray creeping in. Three and two the count. Lake walked off Sussex Central last week 7-6. Much different score so far here in the playoff game. And this pitch is hit a mile high down the left field line. Quentin Maris underneath makes the catch. No advancement, and there's one out here in the bottom of the fifth.
Morris has made the ball sound really good off the bat. Just unable to get the lift and distance that he wants. And now Brendan Anderson a chance to help himself out and give him a little bit of insurance when he goes back out there to pitch.
Here is Anderson, as Kayla mentioned, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts against his counterpart, J.D. Moudry. What a spot here to turn the tide at the plate. Moudry drops in a breaking ball that misses off the corner. Anderson leads the team with 3 homers and 25 runs batted in. Top 5 in average at .340 coming into his 19th game of the season. The pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1.
Anderson with that crush the ball mentality right now with 2 outs on the board.
Big spot here. Moudry has been calm all game. Can he keep his composure against the best hitter for Sussex Central? He gets ahead with a fastball well located on the outside corner.
And Moudry has had his way against Anderson so far in this game. We mentioned Anderson 0 for 2 and went down swinging twice. Will it change here?
The pitch. What a block by Adam Schiff.
You know how tough that is to be in a squatting position and to get up off your feet super quickly. One of the reasons why he's so respected in this conference.
2-2 the count. 2 runners on, 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And this one kicks off the leg of Schiff, and both runners will move up 90 feet. Steen over to third, Cannon up to second. Would imagine that'd be a wild pitch. That was spiked in the dirt. And it is, in fact, a wild pitch. Schiff tried to do everything he could, but that ricocheted off of some body part, perhaps his leg or arm. And now Sussex Central with the go-ahead run 90 feet away here with 1 out. Moudry trying to retire Anderson with another K, but Anderson steps out.
Anderson just wanting to take a moment to breathe a little bit and figure out how he can attack this pitch. Moudry has had the fastball and curve all night long. We'll see what he gives to the cleanup hitter.
Infield in the 3-2, slicing foul. So unlike Sussex Central, who gave up the run for the out on the RBI groundout from TJ Hooks in the top of this inning, Lake is going to try and cut down the runner at home if Steen breaks from third on a ground ball hit to the infield. Anderson and Moudry, the two aces on the hill battling. A pick to third. You don't see that too often.
Maybe trying to unsettle Anderson as he was ready in the batter's box. Ice the batter a little bit.
On deck, Noah Burrows, 1 for 2 with that leadoff double last inning to set up Sussex Central to score the game's first run. Anderson fights it off.
Great battle by Anderson, making sure he got a piece of the ball so he didn't go down swinging for the third time.
Steinoff at third, Cannon at second. Both offenses held in check through the first 4.5 innings. Sussex Central with the run in the bottom of the fourth, Lake answered with the run in the top of the fifth. And Moudry gets Anderson to lift this one with carry down the left field line, but it will hook foul.
Anderson wants to straighten that one out a little bit, as he does have the power to do so.
Again, team leading 3 homers on the year. Battling and hiking up Moudry's pitch count in the process. This will be the 81st pitch coming from the Lake ace. And chopped to third, fielding it, Klotz, the throw perfect, the tag in time as a big out number 2.
And a great job by Klotz to know right away exactly what he wanted to do with that pitch, going straight to home. An even better job by McCray to make sure that third base was in coverage just in case they wanted to flip back and the runner got caught in between. Heads up play by the third baseman over there in the hot corner.
So a fielder's choice. A.J. Cannon actually had to stay put at second base, so runners at first and second, 2 away for Noah Burrows, the shortstop. So the drawn-in infield works for Lake. Moudry retires, or gets an out, I should say. Did not retire Anderson, but nonetheless gets an out in the process. Starts off Burrows with a buckling breaking ball.
Burrows got that pitch that hung up. It's a double to lead off, as you mentioned, Corey, that last inning, and started the runs for Central.
This pitch is past shift. That will be another wild pitch, and both runners up in scoring position.
Now you have to be careful. A wild pitch can score a run as the backstop pretty far at Sussex Central. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast.
Second wild pitch uncorked by J.D. Moudry this inning. Something we don't see often. But now it's a ball and a strike to Burrows. And again, Sussex Central with runners in scoring position. They are 1 for 8 in this department so far here tonight. Knee-high fastball for a strike.
84 pitches for Moudry. The way he's been able to deal with runners in scoring position has been spectacular. Of course, getting help from Klotz over there in the infield as well.
85th pitch coming. It's a big one. What a block by Schiff. That would have given Sussex Central the lead easily if that got all the way behind them.
It's not been an easy night for Schiff at all. He's had to bounce up more times than you can count, so make sure the ball doesn't get past him.
Moudry able to get out of this inning unscathed. You might be seeing Moudry give a big fist pump to his battery mate heading off the mound. 2-2, curveball is lifted into center with some carry. Tyndall underneath, makes the catch, and that ends the inning. So Sussex Central threatened, had multiple runners on, but J.D. Moudry, calm, cool, and collected. He tosses 5 innings of work, and we head to the 6th tied at 1.
I'm ready for it. Don't get me back too good.
Delmarva's Classic Rock. Big 107.7.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you are tuning into a good one. Lake Forest and Sussex Central tied at 1. Golden Knights getting the game's first run on a 2-out RBI double by Zamir Gardner. Lake Forest manufacturing its run on an RBI ground out by TJ Hooks. Central threatened the bottom of the 5th inning, but J.D. Moudry, as we mentioned all broadcast, very poised on the mound, works around multiple base runners and gets out of the inning unscathed. And we head to the 6th with Tristan McCray, the shortstop, to lead things off. Number 2 hitter for the Spartans, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout.
And once again, a pitcher's duel out here tonight. Kind of what we expected with these two aces coming in. But, Corey, it's kind of what the coach has said. I mean, this could really come down to the last hit and whoever is able just to get their barrel on the ball, because both pitchers have been absolutely outstanding.
They certainly have. Each team's pitcher, only 1 run across the board for either side. 5 hits for Sussex Central. And you've got 2 hits for Lake Forest, both coming in that 5th inning. Anderson was carrying a no-no into the last inning, but Quade Gannon able to reach on a grounder up the first base line for a hit. Quentin Maris also reached on a bunt single, and that helped set up the inning for Lake Forest as Hooks drove home Gannon on the RBI ground out. 2-2. Anderson has only walked 1 batter. That was Hooks back in the 3rd. Only 3 walks issued by both pitchers. That kind of tells the story as well of how solid these 2 hurlers have been. This pitch is hit sharply in the center. Going in was Morris, and it goes over his head. McCray motoring around first. He will head to second with a stand-up double. McCray putting a charge into that one.
As you mentioned, Corey, Morris thinking that ball wasn't going to go far. Coming in a little bit and then having to bounce back. And if you think about the last at-bat by McCray, was a complete fight against Anderson, flew out, and this time gets it to fall. So McCray has had a lot of poise in the batter's box since his first strikeout back in that 1st inning, and now Lake Forest all of a sudden has base runners.
McCray's first hit, a big one. Those line drives, the toughest to judge as an outfielder, hit right at you. Here is the all-conference player, Adam Schiff. He laces one to the left, and that's over the head of Gardner. McCray rounding 3rd. He will score without a throw. Schiff hustling to 3rd, and he will slide in safely with a go-ahead RBI triple. Back-to-back extra base hits to open up the 6th inning against Anderson, who has been fantastic this evening for Sussex Central.
And it was just a matter of time before Schiff got his pitch to hit. We mentioned the conference player of the year, struggled a little bit offensively in his first 2 at-bats, but shows up when it matters.
Swinging at the first pitch is Rhett Robbins. He was flirting with extra bases. 2nd triple of the season for Schiff. RBI number 25 for the catcher. And he gives Lake its first lead of the night. And now the Spartans starting to feel it in the dugout. And I wonder if this might be it for Anderson. Anderson at 92 pitches. You can go 105, but I think if you're Sussex Central at this point, you would just try and ride your ace as long as you can. This might be more of a meeting to calm down the workhorse than it is.
Anderson, once again, a phenomenal game. 6 strikeouts on the night, trying to look for even more. Lake Forest just pulling out the bats at the right time. At 2, 3, 4 up and still trying to threaten with Anderson at 92 pitches.
And the senior gonna go as long as he can with this pitch count. He's pretty close to it. This pitch is laced into left field. Off the bat of Robbins. Schiff scores easily. Back-to-back RBI singles for the Spartans. It's 3-1 Lake.
And how about Lake Forest right now? Known for pitching and defense, and all of a sudden their offense woke up just as Anderson is getting up there in that pitch count, maybe feeling a little bit tightness in that arm. And all of a sudden the Spartans taking the lead.
6th RBI of the year for Robbins. A huge insurance run, and here comes Leighton Webb 0-for-2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Well, we mentioned Lake's offense has been explosive over the last 4 games that they've won in a row, averaging 9 runs per contest during their modest 4-game winning streak. Now the bat's coming alive here in the 6th. This is a jam shot, hit to the second baseman, Steen. He catches, throws to first, not in time. Good range and play by the middle infielder for the first out.
And talk about Lake Forest's offense getting hot in the last 4 games. Sometimes it's not about being the best team in the beginning of the season, but trying to figure out how you will end. And Lake Forest doesn't want that end to happen so fast. Sussex Central, though, is all about coming back as well.
Sussex Central now trailing by 2. Anderson has 10 more pitches left. Pitches outside to Gannon, who's 1-for-2 with a single and a run scored back in that 5th to tie it up. We spoke with Gannon after the game last week against Milford about winning the Battle of the Bat, a trophy that has been created between the 2 coaching staffs. He ropes this one sharply to second. Steen throws to second for 1, on to first. Not in time, so it's a fielder's choice. But Gannon said it was a bit emotional and bittersweet for him and his seniors because it was the first and only time that they were going to be able to celebrate the win over the Buccaneers. Well, that game certainly in the rear view now as they are trying to advance to the 2nd round of the DIAA tournament.
I think not only that game, but the game against Central last week kind of showed what this Lake Forest team really had going in to the postseason tournament. Both of these squads have been fantastic and so much fun to watch all year.
Nice. Way to work, kid.
Klotz, the third baseman, at the plate, 0-for-2 with a strikeout and a flyout. 3 straight hits to open up the top of the 6th inning. A double from McCray, a triple from Schiff, and a single from Robbins has plated 2 runs. Off the end of the bat, and it's 0-2.
Alright, V, go get him. Let's go, kid.
6 pitches left. Anderson has a chance to get out of the inning ahead on the count on Klotz.
He has 7 strikeouts, has not had one since the 4th. He was mowing down this Lake Spartan lineup, had 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th. So averaging multiple strikeouts per inning up until the last 2 frames that he's been on the rubber. Fighting it off, Klotz. 101 pitches for Anderson. The limit is 105. I believe if you're in the middle of the at-bat, you can still finish off that hitter. The 1-2 is laced into right field over the head of Steen. Going up to second, Gannon. 4th hit of the inning for the Spartans, and there's 2 away for Quentin Maris, the left fielder.
Lake Forest keeping all their hits until this inning right now. Just fantastic down the lineup of how they've been able to produce with the small ball. They're not necessarily crushing them out of the park, but those extra base hits allowing runners to come in and score.
Maris 1-for-2 with that bunt single in the 5th. Helped set up the inning for Lake to tie the game. It was a beautiful bunt up the third base line. Talon Savage made a tough play, but the throw skipped past the first baseman and put runners in scoring position. And then TJ Hooks grounded out to second to drive in Gannon. He's off at second now. Good pitch by Anderson. It's 0-2. 104 pitches. It would be fitting for Anderson to close out his night and outing at 105 on the dot. Could he end it with a punctuation with an 8th strikeout? Ball kicks away. Great read by Gannon, who takes off for third.
You see third base coach pumped up over there as now with a wild pitch, a runner can come in and score the 4th run of the game for this Lake Forest squad.
That's what you call a dirt ball read. Gannon reading the trajectory of that pitch from Anderson was going to hit the dirt, and the odds of the catcher Tidwell fielding it and making a clean throw slim. Maris battling. And this will be the final batter for Anderson, no matter what happens. Heck of an effort by the senior. He was dazzling through the first 4 innings, carrying a no-no. 7 strikeouts on the night. Runner takes off, he steps off, and now the runner, Klotz, is hung up between first and second. He's trying to get Gannon to score, and now Gannon takes off. The throw not in time, and Klotz is safe at second. What a play put on by the Spartans.
You could tell right there that both base coaches knew exactly what was happening. Didn't get frustrated when Klotz got caught between the base pass right there. Fantastic coaching and play call. And how about Klotz saying calm, cool, and composed, make sure he didn't get tagged, and allowed his teammate to cross the plate.
Able to hang up in that rundown long enough for Gannon to break for home. 1-2 the count here to Maris. Runner off at second, 2 away. Pitch just missed inside. It's 2-2. On deck, TJ Hooks, the first team all-conference designated hitter, who is the second baseman for Lake. Two is popped up. What an at-bat here by Maris.
Gonna need some ice on that arm is Anderson as he reaches 108 pitches. Once again, able to finish this batter off in Maris before he has to take a seat. But Lake Forest right now just keeping this inning alive.
Lake held scoreless through the first 4 innings against the Sussex Central ace. Scratched across a run in the 5th, and now have put up 3 here in the 6th. The 2-2 once more. On deck is Hooks. Again, Anderson has only walked 1 batter tonight, and he is certainly not looking to walk Maris to close out his outing here. The payoff. Misses high, ball 4. So Maris aboard for the second time tonight, and that will do it for Brendan Anderson, the senior ace for Sussex Central, giving it all he had. He was, again, fantastic through the first 4 innings, carrying a no-hitter into the 5th before Quade Gannon broke it up with a ground ball down the first base line. And it looks like it will be Wyatt Hellens, the junior, coming in relief for Anderson. So Anderson will give the ball off. Heck of a job by the senior ace, who will be heading to Division II Shippensburg. He's going to hope that his offense can bail him out here. And while we've got the pitcher warming up, we're going to take a look at some of the plays here that has gotten us to this point. And we start off with that man Anderson. He was cruising early, Kayla.
Yeah, we mentioned 7 strikeouts on the day so far. That fastball was just unhittable, literally through 4 innings. He was pitching fantastic. And then the Central offense also having problems against Moudry. So it's been nothing short of a pitcher's duel here today. as both teams have their aces on the mound for this very anticipated matchup in a game that is a little bit of a rematch from the regular season, but also an elimination game. Anderson very, very hyped up throughout those 4 innings as he was nothing but spectacular.
He was fun to watch. A good pitching duel to start. J.D. Mudry answering zeros with Anderson through the first 3 innings. Anderson was racking up the strikeouts too, 7 in 5 2/3 innings, but he didn't get a strikeout in his last inning plus of work. So Lake starting to figure out Anderson their 3rd time through the lineup, and that always seems to be the point where pitchers are having trouble with the lineup. We see it at the highest level where once a starting pitcher starts to go against the lineup for a 3rd time, that's when trouble happens, and there was trouble there for Lake Forest. That was the RBI double by Zamir Gardner to put the Golden Knights up 1-0.
And Mudry was doing really good with runners in scoring position, but Gardner able to figure him out. And then on the other side for Sussex Central, Anderson giving up that run on the ground out by the DH in Hooks. Playing second base today, but of course known as a big conference player at the designated hitter. And ever since Lake Forest, especially in this inning, well, they just kept racking up the hits, making it exciting to watch.
So we're almost ready for action here. Wyatt Helens is on the hill. Anderson goes from the mound to third base. So Talon Savage is out of the game for the time being. Wyatt Helens comes in to face TJ Hooks. 4-1 Lake leads. Hooks with that violent swing, but very under control. Pops it up foul. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and that RBI ground out back in the 5th.
Your Helens right now just trying to get this last out to give your Central team a chance to get hot in the bottom of the 6th inning. Of course, they're home, so they can take bottom 7 as well.
That is the big difference. Of course, Lake Forest was home to walk off Sussex Central last week 7-6. Now the Golden Knights will try and do the same here. They've got 2 at-bats left. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. The pitch is in the dirt. Both runners going. A good throw. Anderson's tagged, though, a little late. A double steal for Lake Forest, and the base running continues to be aggressive.
A great effort, though, by Anderson over there at third, winning a full split to try and apply that tag. But Lake just getting a little bit behind him to make sure they got their foot in, and now both runners in scoring position.
Helens making his 8th appearance on the year, 9 2/3 innings, a 1-0 record with an ERA of 0.724. He has been fantastic in the small sample size. 8 hits, 2 runs, just 1 earned, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. I had to double check that ERA for a second. There wasn't a number in front of that decimal point. So an 0.72 ERA for Helens out of the bullpen.
And a big time to show why his ERA is so good right here. Of course, the runners on base, Anderson's responsibility. Trying to get out of this inning and give his Central team a chance to pick up momentum on the offensive side.
Anderson going 5 2/3, but as Kayla mentioned, responsible for the 2 runners in scoring position. 2-2 the count to Hooks. Lake opening the game up here in the top of the 6th. And Hooks goes down on strikes. Nasty breaking ball by Wyatt Helens, and that ends the inning, but not before Lake sends 8 men to the plate and string together 3 consecutive hits against Anderson, highlighted by the RBI triple and single by Schiff and Robbins. And Lake now leads for the first time here in the first round game of the DIAA tournament, heading to the bottom of the 6th.
Delmarva Sports Network, remembering Scorchy Taws.
If you have merchandise to turn, it's the quickest way of turning your money. If it's produced right, advertised right, I think you can beat any other method of sale.
O.W. Othel Mears of Parksley, Virginia, has been an auctioneer for 30 years.
I'm totally wrapped up in it. I never plan to retire. I plan to slow down.
We visited with O.W. at his barnyard auction house on a day when his gavel was silent. He was between auctions.
We don't have an auction until we feel like we have enough merchandise to make a good presentable sale and enough items in of a variety that it will draw a variety of people.
O.W. Mears barnyard auctions do draw a variety of people, and if there's some among them that aren't in the bidding mood, they can lose themselves in the realm of taxidermy antiquity that surrounds the bidding area. A collection handed down from O.W.'s grandfather dating back to the late 1800s. You might call his sales auctions with a unique atmosphere. Atmosphere augmented by O.W.'s own collection of antiquated advertising signs.
We get many comments along the line of, well, I've not only had fun buying, I've had fun looking. Public's been mighty good to us, and we've tried to repay that by giving them a little something more than just an auction to come to.
More than an auction even includes a personable rooster who readily accepts peanuts from the youngsters. Yes, you can truthfully say that there's never a dull moment at O.W. Mears' Barnyard House Auctions. Scorchy Taws wandering our Delmarvelous land for WBOC News.
The Spartans glove tapping J.D. Moudry, their ace, who has a lot to smile about. First time here tonight, Kayla, he has pitched with the lead, and I can only imagine how calm he is now after pitching with no lead and then down 1-0. Now he's going to try and get this inning underway with an out, but instead it's C.J. Willie, the DH, sneaking a seeing eye single through to begin the inning.
Sussex Central not going to go down quietly whatsoever. We've seen them rally back in games already this season. Once again, we mentioned they're at home and a little bit of an advantage with that bottom of the 7th. But you also have to look at Moudry's pitch count as well. 87 pitches right now, can only go to 105. Of course, can finish off that last batter.
Here is Tucker, the first baseman. 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts to center. Final line for Brendan Anderson, 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. He surpassed that 105 pitch mark, as we mentioned. J.D. Moudry trying to stay economic here. He's at 89. So his leash is starting to get shorter as well. But if he could get a quick 6th inning, he may come out for the 7th. Tucker lays off a good breaking ball. But you're right. Home in Georgetown for the Sussex Central Golden Knights. Backs up against the wall now, down by 3. Can they rally? High chopper hit to third. Klotz Fields goes to second. Hooks turn to first, not in time. That is a fielder's choice, so the lead runner out at second. Tucker aboard at first.
A good job to get the lead runner by Lake. Of course, want to turn that double play to have one more out, but how Moudry has been calm, cool, and collective on the mound. A base runner doesn't phase him too much.
Certainly doesn't. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Sussex Central. It's going to be John Abbott again, this time for Tucker. You saw Abbott pinch run for the catcher Tidwell. That was back in the 3rd inning.
Coming in the run for Tucker is number 11, Gunnar Abbott.
So Abbott on at first, and here is Amir Gardner, who initially scored the game's first run back in the 4th inning, a 2-out RBI double over the left fielder's Maris's head. That scored Noah Burrows, who led the inning off with a double. Seems like that was forever ago.
The big 6th inning by Lake Forest, making the time seem still.
Pitch gets past Schiff. Good read by Abbott. He takes second on the dirt ball.
See the frustration from Schiff, the catcher for Lake Forest. He's been so good, protecting a lot. That one just unable to shield.
2-0 to Gardner, who you have to be careful to if you're Moudry. Only one homer on the year, but he has shown he has pop out of that bat. That double was a rocket back in the 4th. Moudry pitching backwards, goes with off speed. It's 2-1. Pitch number 95 coming for the Lake Forest ace. Trying to outduel Brendan Anderson, whose day came to a close after tossing 5 2/3 for the Golden Knights. Gardner goes the other way with carry into right center field. Tyndall underneath it makes the catch. Tagging from second, going to third without a throw. Abbott. And Sussex Central has a runner 90 feet away, but will need a 2-out base knock to score him. Gardner again giving it a ride, but today's weather, 70 degrees, a bit windy at times here at Sussex Central, knocking that down. And here is Tidwell, the catcher, 1 for 2 with a single back in the 3rd. The lone freshman starting for Sussex Central. He offers at the first pitch, pops it up down the third base line. The Spartans running out of room.
Talk about the Jets on Klotz, though, over there at third. Able to jet speed all the way from the third base bag over to the fence down the third base line. It was out of play.
0-1 the count. Sussex Central trying to rally. They led 1-0 after the 4th, but Lake has scored 4 unanswered. Tidwell leaves that one. It's 1-1.
Work hard here. Let's go.
Again, the winner will advance to the second round and take on the top-seeded Cape Henlopen Vikings on Saturday. Mentioned 10 Henlopen Conference teams in the tournament. Sussex Tech and Woodbridge battling. Smyrna hosting William Penn. Caesar Rodney traveling to St. Elizabeth. Indian River, who's had a good year in the South, they host Newark Charter. And Laurel sneaking in as the 22 seed, traveling to Tower Hill today. All those games at 4 p.m. Round 2 will be on Saturday. Cape and Delmar earning buys. This pitch is crushed, but just fouled down the right field line off the bat of Tidwell.
Talk about that Sussex Tech Woodbridge game. We mentioned we'll have it on the final score highlights tonight at 10:30. About an hour and a half ago, the update, it was 2-0 Sussex Tech over Woodbridge in the bottom of the 2nd.
Tech finishing second in the North Division ahead of Central. The Golden Knights finishing in 4th place based on winning percentage. They went 10-7. In between Smyrna at 11-7 and CR at 10-8. This Golden Knight team, though, could make a run in the playoffs if they're able to rally here. Tidwell draws a 2-out walk, so runners at the corners. We talked about the good start that this Golden Knights team got off to, Kayla. 6-0 start, but then they went 4-7 the rest of the way. But those losses, some of them coming against tournament teams, DMA, Cape, Salesianum, Apo, and, of course, the Spartans here of Lake Forest. So their quality, I don't know if there's a quality loss. We call them quality wins, but those are certainly losses against good opponents.
And it shows you kind of where you stand in the conference as well when you face those top-ranked teams and teams that have been really good all year long. Shows you kind of what you have to work on, because as the Golden Knights we see right now, they're going to face them as the state tournament goes, and they're seeing that in their foe in the Lake Forest Spartans tonight.
Spartans with losses against St. Mark's, Cape, Delmar, and Tech. All those teams in tournament play here to start the DIAA. So J.D. Moudry nearing the 105 pitch mark as well. Reefstein is the batter. Leadoff man on base back in the 5th. He walked and was thrown out at home on a fielder's choice hit to the third baseman Klotz. Breaking ball beautifully blocked by Schiff. It's 1-0. So most likely this will be Mudry's last batter, as both starters going the distance in terms of pitch count here, certainly putting their team on their shoulders. Missing downstairs, 2-0.
As you mentioned, Abbott just 90 feet from scoring over there at third. Have to be careful with those wild pitches. Schiff has done a nice job of blocking all night long.
2-0. And it's hit sharply through the hole for a base hit. Steen drives home Abbott, and Sussex Central back on the board. They cut the deficit in half. It's 4-2. So Steen with his 11th RBI of the year. 4-2. And it's going to be a battle of the bullpens now here, Kayla, for the rest of the 6th inning and, of course, the entirety of the 7th. But what an effort by J.D. Mudry. Second consecutive start that he has gone 6 innings or more. He goes... Impressive stuff here. Excuse me, this is going to be 5 2/3 for Mudry. He does not get out of the 6th. And now it is going to be Quentin Maris coming out from left field for the Spartans in relief.
And the most impressive thing about Mudry tonight was the fact that he was able to get out of those jams when he had multiple base runners on. We mentioned there was a point in the game where Central was just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And a lot of credit to Mudry, as he was absolutely phenomenal. Both pitchers putting on a show, and as Corey already said, we'll see which bullpen can kind of hold off these batters.
So you can't close the book on Mudry. He does go 5 2/3, 7 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts at 104 pitches. So he leaves the game. Quentin Maris is on the hill for Lake. As Sussex Central trying to get back in this one. They led 1-0 after the 4th. Lake tied it up in the 5th and exploded for 3 in the 6th.
And Maris with just over a 5 ERA right now for this Lake Forest team. So Corey going to have to try to pick up where his starter left off. Don't want to allow Central to close this gap or even take the lead with 2 runners on and 2 outs.
Tying runs on base here for the hometown Golden Knights. Maris making his 10th appearance, all in relief for Lake. Kayla mentioned the ERA, high in a small sample size, a 5.10 ERA. That's only 12 1/3 innings. Comes in with a 2-1 record. Does have a save on the season in the lone opportunity. 19 hits, 12 runs, 9 earned, 12 strikeouts to 8 walks. He has hit 6 batters, so control an issue at times. And he comes in a big spot here. Number 2 hitter at the plate, A.J. Cannon, who hit Mudry hard, 2 for 3. That third at bat, he laced a line drive to center fielder Tyndall, who misjudged it. But Mudry and Lake able to work around that and strand runners in scoring position. That has been the bugaboo for Sussex Central tonight.
Central feeding off that last inning of Lake Forest, wanting to be able to bounce back. So a golden opportunity for Cannon, who already has 2 singles on the day.
That RBI single from Steen, just the 2nd hit with runners in scoring position tonight for Sussex Central. And 11 at-bats. But this Golden Knights offense certainly can score. We mentioned coming in, averaging over 8 runs a game. The offense quiet, though, over their last 5. 0-2 is high. They certainly don't want the offense to go cold here with their backs up against the wall. Bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Lake leads, but Sussex Central trying to mount a 2-out rally. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Blew it by Cannon. He went with the heater. Maris comes in and strands the tying runs on base in relief of J.D. Moudry. Sussex Central does get a run on 1 hit, no errors, and the 2 men left. We head to the final inning here in Georgetown. Spartans 4, Golden Knights 2.
1025 WBOC.
I wanna know who's in your head, stealing your heart while I'm still bleeding. You right, got my, yeah, but all you say is only when we're older we'll be shining like the gold, yeah, won't we? Be the one that well, I thought it, but I kept it.
1025 WBOC.
Top of the 7th here at Sussex Central High School. Corey Naito alongside Kayla Santiago. Thanks for making us a part of your evening. It's been a good one between the North Division Golden Knights and the South Division Spartans. A rematch of a regular season game a week ago where Lake walked off the Golden Knights 7-6. Here, they're looking to end the season for the hometown Golden Knights. Jonathan Tyndall, the leadoff man, will lead things off against Wyatt Hellens in relief of Brendan Anderson, who went 5 2/3 innings. Allowed 4 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 7. Carried a no-no into the top of the 5th inning before Lake was able to solve the riddle that was Anderson, and then able to string 3 straight hits together in the top of the 6th inning to build the lead that they have now.
Lake Forest trying to add a little bit more insurance with the top of the order up. Sussex Central will have an opportunity to try and win this in their half the 7th.
Tyndall 0 for 3 tonight. Did reach on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. 2-2 the count here to the leadoff man for Lake Forest. The spark plug and vocal leader of this team for the Spartans hits one in the hole. Tough play for Burrows. He's not going to make it. Infield single for the center fielder.
Burrows in. Anderson having a little bit of a conversation. Short and 3rd. A little tough for Anderson to get over. Good effort by Burrows as it was hit into that deep infield.
So Tyndall trying to provide a spark here in the 7th and add perhaps a run or 2 for Lake to pad their lead heading into the final half of the inning. With them up 2, they would love nothing more than to make this deficit larger for Sussex Central to try and climb out of. Here's McCray, the shortstop, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Lofts the first pitch up, foul territory. Catcher Tidwell can't make the play. That was a tough one. He was still on the run. First baseman Tucker couldn't get there in time.
Not an easy play whatsoever. Also had to deal with taking the mask off so he could see a little bit more. Almost had it. But now another opportunity for McCray to kind of pick up where he left off last inning and started the rally with that double.
Led off the 6th with that double, the deep center over the head of T.J. Morris. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. And then easily scored as Adam Schiff ripped an RBI triple over Gardner's head and left. 2 rockets in succession. And then Rhett Robbins followed with an RBI single to left. That made it 3-1 at the time. Lake added 1 more in the 6th. That's how they got to their 4 runs. Sussex Central with a run in the 4th on an RBI double with 2 outs from Zamir Gardner. And then last inning, an RBI single with 2 outs from Reef Steen. So a couple of 2-out base knocks driving in the runs for the Golden Knights here tonight. McCray in the hole, nothing in 2. Lake looking to make it to the 2nd round of the playoffs for the 2nd time in as many years. They want to peel down to 1st, And Jim Murray, the first base ump, said that he went too far, so McCray down on strikes.
McCray almost in disbelief right there. But a good job for Sussex Central to try and get more outs away and give themselves a chance to come back in their half of the seventh.
Here's Adam Schiff. Schiff 1 for 3, but that won a big hit, that RBI triple that put Lake ahead 2-1. That was against Anderson after he struck out to the Sussex Central ace twice in the first and fourth inning, able to redeem himself in the sixth.
It was a matter of time before Schiff was able to get his pitch to hit, struck out swinging prior to the big RBI triple. And after that, Lake kept coming.
Pitch just missed. It's 1-1. Mentioned Lake making the playoffs last year. It was an open tournament, so they made it to the second round, as did Sussex Central. They beat Hodgson Votech 8-0 the first round and then lost to Smyrna in a Northern Division battle 13-7. They were eliminated in round 2 last year. Both teams trying to get past that, but the winner of this game will have a tough task in doing so, because awaiting them on Saturday, the talented Cape Henlopen Vikings, 16-2, the best record in the entire conference. This is a nubber, hit up the first base line. Good play by Helens off the mound. Retires Schiff for out number 2. Tyndall moves up in a scoring position.
Helens pitching very well in relief of Anderson right now, timing that perfectly. Making sure he had the patience to get that out, and one more away. As Helen is trying to get out of the inning after letting that infield single.
Here is Robbins. On base twice tonight. He reached on an E6 in the second, flew out to left in the fourth, and ripped that RBI single in the sixth. Helens wants to go through the signs again with his freshman catcher, Tidwell. Letter high strike. Looking ahead in the bottom of the inning, it is exactly who you want up at the plate to try and rally for Sussex Central. TJ Morris, Brendan Anderson, and Noah Burrows, your 3, 4, 5 hitters. Breaking ball, good block by Tidwell. Helen's having some trouble keeping his hat on. A couple times now that it has fallen off of his head.
So much power on that fastball. That winds up so much, his hat just coming off on the pitcher's mound.
One. Way upstairs, it's 2-1.
Here are Helens right now. This out is crucial with a runner over in scoring position. Try to get Lake stranded.
Pitch is up and away. It's 3-1. 4-2 Lake leads. Looking to stun Sussex Central for the second time in the last 2 weeks. They walked them off at home 7-6. Have come from behind 1-0 here in this game after being no hit until the top of the fifth. And they have 2 aboard here with 2 away for Leighton Webb, the designated hitter.
Good patience by Robbins, not chasing that one straight down the middle. And now just more base runners for Lake. And they've done pretty good with runners in scoring positions so far. We talked about that monster 6th inning.
Webb takes a breaking ball in for a strike. Nice offering there from Helens. Robbins off at first. Tyndall off at second for Webb, who is 0 for 3 with a ground out, strikeout, and line out. Another breaking ball in for a strike. So back-to-back breakers to Leighton Webb, the primary DH here for this Lake team. Helens trying to keep this a manageable 2-run deficit. See if Sussex Central can rally in the bottom of the 7th. 0-2. He slipped off the mound. Breaking pitch blocked nicely. Tidwell only a freshman, but he's pretty solid behind the plate.
Just shows what the future holds for him as a Golden Knight, as he's had to do almost as much blocking as Schiff here tonight.
1-2. Just got a piece, barely.
And that's one thing that Lake Forest has done very well. Working on that small ball play and also making these at-bats really tough for Anderson and now Helens, as working the arm of both pitchers.
There's that first and second, 2 outs. 1-2 the count to Webb. And this pitch is again fouled off. Spartans have battled multiple times at the plate. Handful of at-bats against Brendan Anderson, not going down easily. Webb now continuing that trend here. Only 12 strikeouts on the year for Webb. He has played in 17 of the 18 games for the Spartans. .38 at-bats for Webb coming into this game. The pitch is laced foul down the third base line. Heads up.
Fans ducking to make sure that didn't come near them. And how about this at-bat by Webb, who will end up being able to win the battle? So we don't necessarily have a pitch count on how many pitches have been thrown to Webb, but right now he's giving Helens a run for his money.
Nearing double digits, I would say. It is getting up there. 1-2 again. 2 runners aboard, 2 outs. Lake leads by 2, and it hits Webb. It slipped out of the hand of Wyatt Helens, and that loads them up. Tyndall scoots over to third. Robbins up to second for Quade Gannon, the right fielder. And we're going to have a pinch runner here for Leighton Webb, so he takes the bruise and will take a seat in the dugout. Pinch runner coming in is Sean Farrell, the sophomore, listed as a catcher and pitcher for Lake Forest here in 2022. So Farrell off at first, Robbins off at second, Tyndall at third, representing a huge insurance run with Gannon at the dish. On base twice tonight, singled and scored in the 5th, scored in the 6th, and reached on a fielder's choice.
And Helens right now just having a little bit trouble with his command. We see the fastball and the high velocity, but not placing it where he necessarily wants it to be.
1-0. Off the outside corner, tough take, but Gannon able to lay off of it. It's 2-0. We mentioned the hit batsman for Helens. That was just his 3rd of the season, so not something that he normally does. Meanwhile, Quentin Maris has had some trouble in that department, the reliever for Lake. 3-0, though, the count to Gannon, and no place to put him.
Mentioned Lake winning in walk-off fashion last time with the bases-loaded walk. Of course, they're already ahead, and it's the top of the 7th. They're able to take those pitches.
3-0. In for a strike. Late call by Bill Vitolo. So now Helens has to try and battle all the way back. This bases-loaded walk would drive in a key insurance run here to make it a 3-run lead. The pitch. High, ball 4. An RBI bases loaded walk for Gannon. Coming in to score Tyndall, who led the inning off with a single. And Lake back up by 3. It's 5-2.
And that's the insurance you need when whoever the closer might be. We'll see for Lake Forest if Quentin Maris goes back out there to try to close this game out. But insurance can really pay off.
Pitch in for a strike. Klotz, the batter, on base with a single back in the 6th. Struck out and flew out prior to that. Comes up empty here, and it's now 0-2. Klotz was part of that double steal to allow a run to come across back in that 3-run 6th inning. Allowing Gannon to break from third and score. He was hung up in the run down long enough before the throw home was not in time. Good breaking pitch by Helens, but Klotz somehow holds off. One and 2 the count. Bases remain loaded for the Spartans. Top of the 7th. 1-2. He held again. Good block by Tidwell, and it's 2-2.
Klotz very patient at the plate. Singled that last time up in that big 6th inning by Lake Forest. And trying to make Helens work for everything.
A little over 2.5 hours since first pitch, and we started about 5 to 8 minutes past the 4 o'clock start time. 2-2, again fouled off. And one thing I think that many will take away from this game, especially offensively for Lake, is the amount of pitches that they have been able to foul off against Sussex Central pitching.
Just the fight they've been able to put on at the plate has been spectacular. Not letting anything go easily and just getting enough on it to foul it off.
2-2, again fought off.
And that puts stress on the arm. We saw it of Anderson and also with Helens. Makes that pitch count go up and a little bit tougher to keep going after every batter is giving you a hard time to go down.
The 2-2 again, and it hits him. Another run comes in to score for the Spartans.
And that's where patience gets you. Of course, you never want to be hit by a pitch, but at the same time, making sure you're laying off, seeing the ball fully through. And now all of a sudden, Lake Forest still has the bases loaded and the 2-out rally continues.
And I think that will be it for Wyatt Helens. J.D. Long, the third-year head coach, takes the ball from his reliever, and we will have a third pitcher coming into the ball game for the Golden Knights. Looks like Cole Rogers will be coming in for Sussex Central in a 6-2 game. And right now for Rogers, you just got to get that elusive third out.
Making sure Lake Forest doesn't do any damage so that the margin doesn't open too much. And right now for the Golden Knights, Rogers trying to do exactly that. Easier said than done, though, as this Lake Forest team has been very, very patient all night long. And if you're the Spartans, I mean, you know that this Sussex Central team can come back at any time they want to. So making sure that you can try to tackle on as much as you want to.
And see some of the crowd here bundled up. The rain has stopped. Taking over a look to the left. Hard to tell. Looks like we might have the Spartans fans over to the dugout on the third base side.
Cole Rogers warming up out there. 5.13 ERA on the season. Although only 2 games fully, so 1 win, 1 loss to his record.
And again, that's the tough part at this high school level where the ERAs are inflated because of the small sample size. You mentioned Rogers. He has made 9 appearances, 15 innings of work with that 1-1 record. 15 hits, 18 runs, 11 earned runs, 13 walks, 11 strikeouts. Third pitcher used here by Sussex Central, and he's trying to get that final out and stop the bleeding here and see if the Golden Knights can rally in the home half of the inning, where it will be the 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for Sussex Central: Morris, Anderson, and Burrows.
The Spartans will bring to the plate number 3, William Noel.
So we have a pinch hitter for the Spartans. William Noel, the freshman, will hit for Quentin Maris. Maris, the pitcher, last inning, out of relief. So now the Spartans going to the bench here. Noel playing in his 9th game. He is 3 for 11, but 2 of those 3 hits doubles. So has some pop. Takes the first pitch low and away for a ball.
This Lake Forest team just very well coached. We talked about head coach Corey Wyatt. We saw the steal to home, being able to have the runner caught between the bases, forces the throw to home, and they were safe. But the patience in the batter's box right now has been spectacular.
It really has, and we haven't really had a chance to touch on it, but Lake's doing this and making this run without arguably their best player this year, Chase Killen, an All-State center fielder last year, out with an injury for the entire month. They were hoping he might be cleared today for maybe a pinch hit at bat, but Coach Wyatt saying that the biggest thing they're missing is Killen's speed. Coach, who has been the head coach here at Lake Forest for 18 years, said he is the fastest coach he has ever coached. And that certainly hampered the running game a bit because Lake likes to be aggressive on the base paths. Killen is heading to play at Potomac State after he graduates. This pitch gets past Tidwell, and a wild pitch brings in a run for Lake. And the Spartans adding 3 runs here in the 7th without putting the ball in play.
And that's when you talk about the patience and the speed. You can tell that the Spartans team is all around pretty quick and reads the ball well. Of course, wanting Killen back in that lineup. But at the same time, it's the next man up mentality for Lake Forest. And they have done a really good job, not only tonight, but the rest of their end of their regular season as well.
So runners at second and third. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that ends the inning. But Lake once again sends 8 men to the plate for the second consecutive inning, and they tack on a few runs without putting a ball in play. 3 more runs come across, and they are up by 5, 3 outs away from a victory to move on in the DIAA State Tournament.
Coast Country and Spicer Brothers have teamed up to help out our friends and neighbors in need and to support the causes that better the lives of all who live on Delmarva. If you know of a family in need or a charitable cause that could use some help, go to coastcountry.com and fill out the form today. Each month, we'll select a special event to feature and attend with a live remote broadcast. Coast Country Cares, built by Spicer Brothers Construction. Learn more at coastcountry.com.
June 4th and 5th is the biggest party on the beach. It's the Jellyfish Festival. Powered by Snapback Energy. Come on downtown Ocean City. 5 bands on Saturday, 5 bands on Sunday. Saturday from 12 to 4, it's the Shorecraft Beer Festival. All you care to drink. Get your tickets at shorecraftbeerfest.com. Got the fitness zone, you got the vendor village, you got the cornhole tournament. Friends, family, good times in the sun, on the sand. Hang out with us and check it out at jellyfishfestival.com. Be a part of this party.
We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Spartans have scored 3 more times in the top of the inning. However, tough way for the Golden Knights to see them score. They score 3 without putting the ball in play. A walk, a hit by pitch, and a wild pitch, all with the bases loaded. And the Golden Knights need 5 to tie, 6 to walk off Lake and return the favor that the Spartans handed the Golden Knights a week ago, and it's TJ Morris, the center fielder, to lead things off. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Once again, this is the part of the lineup that you won up 3, 4, and 5 right now. Burrows has had a decent game, had that doubled, and came around to score. So can have some rally here in the bottom of the 7th.
Quentin Maris out for another inning of relief. This pitch is popped up into shallow right field, and that falls in for a hit. So Morris picks up his first hit of the game as he tries to ignite what would be quite the rally here for Sussex Central.
Not easy by any means, but Sussex Central, a lot of pop. And not wanting to go down easy. Once again, this is an elimination game, so win or go home.
Here is Brendan Anderson. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, reached on a fielder's choice. Was solid on the mound for Sussex Central through the first 5 innings of work. He went 5 2/3 overall. Had a no-hitter going into that 5th inning. Lake able to break that and then score 4 unanswered against the Sussex Central ace. Team's best hitter and arguably best player, trying to keep his senior season alive before he heads to play Division II ball in Pennsylvania at Shippensburg. Breaking ball misses low.
Talk about how good Schiff has been tonight as well. One of the best catchers in the conference, if not the best, and defensively has had a rough go around behind the plate and springing back up to make sure he blocks those balls and doing a really good job at it.
Sussex Central needs a handful of base runners and 1 to score, and then another to come up to the plate to try and get the tying run to the dish. Down by 5. 1-2 the count here to Anderson, with the winner advancing to the 2nd round of the DIAA tournament, and they will take on the number 1 seeded Cape Henlopen Vikings on Saturday up in Lewis, Delaware. 1-2. This is high from Maris, and it's 2-2.
And Cape definitely a tough competitor out there. Not going to be an easy contest at all for either Central or Lake Forest, as Cape Henlopen, one of the top teams in the state all season long.
I believe it's Cole Miller out in left field for Lake. We never got the substitution for Maris, who was the left fielder to start for Lake. It's either a number 6 or 8 through the binoculars behind home plate. I don't think it would be 8 because that would be Chase Killen, who we mentioned
would only come in to hit.
Try to get a better visual, but nonetheless, it's a full count here to Anderson. And he fights it foul.
The Knights giving Lake Forest a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, making the pitchers work. Anderson making it tough for Maris to retire him.
Morris off at first. He led it off with a bloop single. Sussex Central needs to rally to keep their season alive. Payoff is rocketed into right field. Rounding second, heading to third, Morris. The throw goes to the middle of the infield. Anderson picks up his first hit, and Sussex Central with runners at the corners, nobody out.
What a time for Anderson to come alive. Has had a tough night offensively, was really good through 4 innings, as we mentioned, on the mound. And now Sussex Central, just like that, not going down easy.
Rated one of the top 5 teams in Delaware early this year in some rankings. Trying to keep the hope alive. Burrows, the shortstop at bat, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. He scored the game's first run on the 2-out RBI double by Gardner back in the 4th. But Lake since then has outscored Sussex Central 7-2. The pitch upstairs. It's 1-1. Game started out In a pitching duel, J.D. Moudry and Brendan Anderson, the two starters, going 5 2/3 each. Both surpassing the 105 pitch count. This is popped up in a shallow left. Going back and making an acrobatic play is McRae, the shortstop. That was not an easy play. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 7th.
Once again, just good communication between Maris and Tyndall, realizing that McRae had the best play on it, having to turn his back a little bit to make that catch. When your infield is playing well, only with one error on the night, makes your job a little bit easier.
Here is Willie, the DH, 1 for 3 with a single in the 6th. Golden Knights down to their final 2 outs here in 2022. Good breaking ball that just missed. Moudry went 5 2/3, as I mentioned, for Lake. He scattered 7 hits, allowed 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. High heat. Willie couldn't catch up. One the count. Lake looking to advance. This pitch is popped up and out of play. Again, 10 Henlopen Conference teams in the tournament. Really a good representation of how good the baseball has been downstate. Cape, the number 1 seed, Delmar, the 7 seed, both earning first-round byes. 1-2, breaking pitch, misses low and away.
Great eye by Wiley to not chase. Maris trying to get on the chase on the outside.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And is hit sharply to Hooks, the second baseman. He goes to second for 1. McRae's throw wide, and a run will score. The runner will stay put at first. So Sussex Central does get a run on the board at 7-3 on the fielder's choice. Morris scoring. Anderson out at second, and Lake an out away from advancing.
Good job by Willie there to beat that throw out. Of course, it went a little bit wide, but I think anyway, even if it was on target, that he still would have had a step ahead of him.
Going to have a pinch runner again for Sussex Central. Talon Savage looks like he's going to be re-entered. He started the game at third base.
Coming in to run for the Golden Knights at first base will be number 15.
Yep, Savage is in. He started the game at third and was taken out once Anderson was done pitching on the mound for Sussex Central. Runner at first, 2 outs, 4-run lead for Lake. Colin Tucker trying to keep the season alive for the Golden Knights. He is 0 for 3 with a couple of flyouts, a fielder's choice, and a run scored. Schiff has no idea where the ball is. Trying to keep it in front, but the wild pitch allows Willie to move up to second. Breaking ball. That was tough to handle in the dirt. Good news for Lake Forest and their fans. Plenty of runs to wiggle with right now. Can afford a runner to get to scoring position. Sussex Central would need to load the bases up to bring the tying run to the plate. Fastball down Broadway for a strike.
Let's go, Colin. Work right here. Let's go.
So Savage off at second, and this pitch is popped up. Schiff gets rid of his mask. He tries to make the catch, and he can't. And again, it was tough. We've seen some infielders and catchers from both sides having a tough time, I think, of reading the ball on this overcast sky, Kayla.
Not easy, and especially when you're a catcher, when you have to take a second and make the mask come off and then also track the ball. Carried a little bit more than I think he thought. And now another opportunity for Tucker to kind of reset himself.
Lake a strike away from moving on. Sussex Central a strike away from having their 2022 campaign come to a close. The 1-2 popped up again. Schiff maybe with another chance. Instead, he gives away to Klotz, and the third baseman drops it. Never breaking stride and scoring all the way from second, Savage. And Sussex Central still alive.
Klotz just really never read that well over there at third. Had a tough time tracking it down, but heads up base running by Savage, as he was able to make sure that he tagged and slid into home. So a good job by Sussex Central taking advantage of the miscues by Lake Forest.
Garrett Statler, the junior, now coming in as a pinch runner for Colin Tucker. Here is Gardner. He has hit the ball hard all 3 times with an RBI double back in the 4th to show for it. Gives it a ride, but foul. So now it is a 3-run game all of a sudden with 2 outs. How big are those runs that Lake scored in the top of this inning? 3 runs coming across without putting the ball in play. A bases loaded walk, hit by pitch, and a wild pitch. They appeal. It did not go. Without those runs, Kayla, it would be a tied game right now.
Yeah, and Lake Forest once again being patient in the batter's box.
0-2 the count here to Gardner.
And being able just to make sure they didn't go after those pitches and get some runs to cross the plate with the bases loaded.
Gardner bounces it up the line at third. And they're going to say it's a foul ball, and J.D. Long is heated. They're saying it hit the bag. Base umpire, home plate umpire Bill Vitolo saying it did not.
Very frustrating, as head coach J.D. Long pleading his case and saying it hit the bag. That means it's a fair ball. He has a right to make an argument. Of course, this can end their season, and that would have been a big hit right there coming from Gardner.
Well, it could have been a hit for sure, because if it hit off the bag, that would have been a tough play for Klotz, and Long is right there at third base, but home plate umpire Bill Vitolo said it did not. So Lake catches a potential break. Still 0-2 to Gardner. Hit on the hands. And they're going to say it's a foul ball. Gardner shaking off his hands.
And that's a tough pitch to take.
He didn't swing, and now they're going to conference. Coach Long asking for the 3-man umpiring crew to at least talk about that one.
You can tell right there how Gardner reacted as well. Definitely, the ball got some of his hand, whether it hit the bat first and then went off his hand, we don't really know, but that's got to hurt. At least it's not a super cold day.
And they're going to say he was, in fact, hit.
And now Coach for Lake Forest coming out and trying to get an explanation. Corey Wyatt wants to have a conversation with home plate umpire.
And I'm sure Wyatt's argument is, well, that hit the barrel or the handle of the bat. But Gardner quickly shaking his hand, and you're right. When you get those hands stuck between the ball and the grip of the bat, there's no place to move your hands. And Sussex Central all of a sudden brings the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Braden Tidwell, the catcher, on base twice tonight, singled in the 3rd, walked in the 6th. The freshman, can he keep the season alive and turn the lineup card over to the top hitters of this Golden Knight squad? Fastball in the outside corner for a strike.
He did walk his last time up. It's important to be patient. Just as Lake Forest did on the other side, you might want to load those bases to turn the lineup over.
Tidwell chases the high fastball, and once again, Sussex Central down to its final strike.
Of course, you want to crush the pitch and be the hero, although it would only tie the ball game up, but at the same time, have to realize the opportunity you have if you can be patient.
Tidwell, a first-team All-Conference selection last year as an 8th grader. His father on the only championship team here at Sussex Central back in 1989. Trying to keep his team alive now, 2 decades later, to try and make a run at the title. They go upstairs again, and the youngster holds off.
Trying to get Tidwell to chase right there. We talked about his abilities behind the plate just as a freshman. See what he can do in the box as well.
1-2, tying run at the plate. And he gives it a ride into right field. Gannon tracking it, and he makes the catch. And Lake Forest holds on to a 7-4 win here in Georgetown. And they advance to the second round of the DIAA playoffs. And what turned out to be a fantastic game here at Sussex Central High School.
Kind of see the little waves from Lake Forest over to the Sussex Central dugout. Of course, Sussex Central the higher seed, but Lake showing that they can beat a team twice in a season. And they show their composure not only on the mound, but also in the batter's box. A phenomenal game all around for Lake. And Sussex Central, a great season. But the Spartans, I mean, they came out on the road and wanted this one and came to play.
A great season for the Golden Knights and almost a great comeback. They scored 2 in the 7th, had the tying run at the plate. But Lake escapes with the victory and moves on to round 2. We'll come back with the postgame show, break this game down. Lake Forest 7, Sussex Central 4 here on the Delmarva Sports Network.
Delmarva's news leader. It's what defines WBOC News.
Damage assessments and the cleanup continue.
It means keeping you informed.
The explosions could be seen from all around.
Putting your needs first.
Looking beautiful and sunny, but we still have a few clusters of heavier rain.
At home and around the peninsula.
We do have team coverage tonight.
From morning until night. WBOC Delmarva's news leader. It's not just our slogan, it's our commitment to you.
This May, NBC Universal wants to amplify AAPI voices.
Like mine. It's Randall Park.
The voices that strive.
We are resilient. We're not just one culture.
And the voices that challenge.
Tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do exactly what I want.
Because it takes more than one voice to speak for a community.
Uncles, aunts, cousins around the world are always sending me messages of support.
And voices that speak together are stronger together. AAPI Amplified. Stronger together.
We begin our Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling post-game show. Lake Forest and Sussex Central. We knew it was going to be a close one, Kayla, and boy, was it. It was a 0-0 game through the first 3 innings. Sussex Central took a 1-0 lead in the 4th. Lake, though, outscoring Sussex Central 7-1 in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, but the Golden Knights there breaking for the final time in 2022. Almost pulled off the comeback, had the tying run at the plate with 2 outs.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Sussex Central, nothing to hang their heads about. They had a phenomenal season. Of course, Gardner getting hit by that pitch and Tidwell with an opportunity. But, you know, for Lake Forest tonight, they come in here as underdogs. But the other thing about the Spartans is they're getting hot at the right time. And that's sometimes what matters most. It doesn't always matter what you do in the beginning of the year. Of course, that's important to get your record good, but how you end it and how you carry yourself into that postseason play is extremely important. And Lake Forest, I mean, they've got a tough matchup coming up in Cape Henlopen, but right now you can say they're one of the hottest teams in the tournament.
They certainly are. They have now rattled off 5 straight wins with a 7-4 victory here on the road against Sussex Central after they beat the Golden Knights in a walk-off fashion last week. Lake Forest now is moving on to take on that top-seeded Cape Henlopen Vikings team. Spartans got off to a bit of a tough start in terms of offensively. They were held without a hit through the first 4 innings against Brendan Anderson, who is saddled with a tough luck loss. He went 5 2/3 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. J.D. Moudry picks up the win, going 5 2/3. And it was really impressive stuff by the offense of Lake Forest to finally figure out the riddle that was Anderson, who had 7 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. They manufactured the game-tying run on an RBI ground out by TJ Hooks, and then the big-time hits from Schiff and Robbins, capping off a string of 3 consecutive hits to open up the 6th inning. And that was really what helped out with Lake Forest. So with that said, Lake Forest wins 7-4. And we'll take a look at some of our post-game awards here. As you see, a great shot there. Lake Forest huddling around after the victory. We're going to start with our play of the game, brought to you by Athlete Academy. And it has to go to Adam Schiff, the catcher, with the go-ahead RBI triple in this 6th inning to score Tristan McCray, the shortstop, from second.
And this was an awesome hit by Schiff, just going over the head over there of the center fielder. A tough break right there for Sussex Central as they were playing a little bit in. And just Schiff, you kind of knew that he had his due. Struck out swinging both times up, and then when the opportunity presented himself to put his team ahead, he was able to deliver. It was the reason why he's one of the best players in the conference, not just behind the plate, but also in the batter's box. And ever since then, I mean, Corey, Lake Forest just really didn't look back.
They did not. Second triple of the year for Schiff, 25th RBI on the year, so he takes home our Athlete Academy play of the game with that rocket over the left fielder's head. And our Stanley Seamer player of the game will go to the starting pitcher for Lake Forest. It's the second time in as many weeks we have seen J.D. Moudry pitch very well on the hill. He improves to 3-3 on the year with the win, and he was so calm, Kayla. 5 2/3, scattered 7 hits, only allowed 2 earned runs, but Sussex Central had runners on the bases, it seemed like, every inning. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the second, but that was the only time he faced the minimum in his outing. He really limited the damage and potential damage against Sussex Central here tonight.
And I think that's the most impressive thing, Corey. You might look at the stat sheet and say, okay, he only has 4 strikeouts, gave up a run here and there, but what you don't see is how he was able to get out of those jams. That's not easy at any level, especially in a mental game like baseball, but a high schooler, he is a senior, able to do that in such a big game, a contest that you won last week, that it's going to be a tough one on the road at Sussex Central. And I haven't seen a pitcher that composed, I don't think, all season long. And for Lake Forest right now, with that guy in the head of them, they're going to have a really, really good run. Although, of course, they have to face Cape Henlopen. But if he's able to pitch once again on Saturday, it would be pretty good. 5
of those innings on the mound for Moudry, 4 of them had multiple base runners aboard for the Golden Knights. So congratulations to J.D. Moudry on our Stanley Seamer player of the game. And once again, congratulations to the Lake Forest Spartans, who advance with a 7-4 victory here in Georgetown to take care of Sussex Central. Lake now has won 5 in a row. They improved to 12-7 overall in the year. Sussex Central finishes with a 10-8 record, but a heck of a job by the Golden Knights. They brought the tying run to the plate, and Tidwell, the freshman, laced it to right field, but able to be corralled as the Golden Knights take it in for one last time. It's never a pleasant moment. I've been there, and it is not fun to know that you're going to be playing with your teammates for the last time on the diamond. But a heck of an effort by Sussex Central. Great job by Lake. And the Spartans move on. They take on Cape on Saturday in round 2 of the DIAA playoffs. And that will just about do it for our broadcast here at Sussex Central High School. Thanks so much for tuning in. For our production crew, camera operators Tyrone Sharper and Jack Kritzis, producer Alex Brownstein, replay and graphics Mo Ware, director Sean Riley, my broadcast partner Kayla Santiago. I'm Corey Naito. Lake holds on and beats Sussex Central 7-4, and they move on in the tournament. This has been a presentation of the Delmarva Sports Network.
You'll see different people asking, like, what is the best shoe? But the best shoe is really different for every person.
And here they'll have an opportunity to get on a treadmill.
They can watch you run and help you decide.
Every runner I see has different issues that you have to accommodate.
We make sure we fit you properly. Whether you're preparing for the Boston Marathon or the Algonquin 50K, Vernon Powell offers technical support.
Prizes for different local races. It's great to have a local running store that is supportive of the local running club.
Expert advice and that Vernon Powell fits. Shop in store, by phone, or online with curbside pickup.
Water damage can cause serious problems at your home or business. At Royal Plus, we have decades of experience serving commercial and residential properties. Our water extraction and restoration experts are capable of restoring any structure, location, or property type, and are available 24/7 to respond to your water emergency. Call the experts at Royal Plus, 866-404-7587.
At Delmarva Dental Services, we'll be there for you, weeknights and Saturdays too. So if you're feeling like your dental health is stuck in second gear, like a friend, we'll always be here. Visit us online at delmarvadentalservices.com or call to schedule your appointment today.
Welcome back to Wawa Siptopia, your handcrafted beverage happy place. Enjoy smoothies, refreshers, hot and iced lattes, our new frozen coffee and frozen refreshers. Only at Wawa.
Avery Hall has a long-standing history of being involved in the community. To me, it's very important to be involved in helping local families when they're in need. We see a variation of people in need. They need to be educated, provide guidance, and that's something that we're here for, and I enjoy helping people. At the end of the day, if I'm able to rewrite a policy and save them money that can help them continue in early retirement, that would be great. I'm Steve Mason, account executive at Avery Hall Insurance.
For over 71 years at Burke Equipment Company, we have the customer service experience and solid reputation to support all your Kubota needs.
Come see us to see why our customers love their Kubota equipment. We carry all the Kubota lines to take care of your construction, farming, landscaping, and homeowner needs.
We carry and service all Kubota lines of equipment with financing and protection programs at a price you can afford.
Burke Equipment is your authorized Kubota equipment dealer with 3 locations in tax-free Delaware.
Everyone's been talking about the new Wawa burgers, but since you showed up with the smoky barbecue bacon cheeseburger, the Chipotle charged Southwest burger, and the incredibly delicious nacho cheeseburger, no one said a word. Tonight, we discover the next burger sensation. Tonight, we Wawa.
If you're like me and always find yourself busy, the Preston Automotive Groups help make buying easy. You pick out the car you want online, and they deliver the vehicle right to you. Thank you.
Stanley Steamer started with one man, a van, and a whole lot of carpet. We've been innovating for a long time. Stanley Steamer now goes beyond carpet. We've been cleaning tile and grout, upholstery, rugs, air ducts, and a whole lot more. We don't just clean carpets, we clean homes. So when your home needs a cleaning, give us a ring at 1-800-STEAMER.
Many parents assume that the vision screening at the pediatrician's office is all that's required. While vision screening is an important first step, it's not the same as a comprehensive eye exam. There are some serious eye diseases that are not detected at a regular screening. The American Optometric Association advises that the first eye exam be at the age of 3.
Dr. Tracy Boss is accepting new patients, including pediatrics, at Chesapeake Eye Centers in Salisbury and Berlin. For more about Chesapeake Eye, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
Now, we do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This week on the show.
Hey. At the Delmarva Coon Hunters Association Mule Show, there's a contest to see who can jump the highest, and its roots go back to a method of hunting that is all but forgotten.
From that, the competition started. Well, my mule can jump higher than your mule.
And it's hard to say who enjoys dog training more, the veterans or their dogs. But there's no question who benefits the most in these dog and handler relationships. Plus, there's a lot that goes into getting land prepped and ready for deer hunting.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
Pulled him out of the grass.
I knew he was on that.
That is a nice perk.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here's Captain Willie Dykes.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. We'll be checking in with my partner, Andrew Talls, in just a few minutes. You know, fall here on Delmarva means a couple of things. You got your hunting seasons going on, you got your fall colors happening, and for us, you got your Delmarva Coon Hunters Association Mule Show in Powellville, Maryland. Raccoon hunting has retreated into relative obscurity here on Delmarva, but the coon hounds, horses, and mules once used in the hunts are as popular as ever.
And see, this is our 40th anniversary mule show out here, so there's been a lot of mule jumping over the years.
And that's why we came to this arena off Ben Davis Road.